I'm hearing both of you right now. MyT Sports Podcast. Hey, yo, good. Just me and you today. Evening, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. Yo, my glasses is filthy as fuck. It's another Fuego day in the hottest city in the world. We're coming at you live from the studio in West Palm Beach, Florida. It is officially November 3rd. Actually, Veterans Day is next week. I was a whole week ahead. I just realized something as I'm saying November 3rd. I am a whole week ahead. I really thought this was Veterans Weekend. It will explain also why I was thinking something else. All right, we got a big show for you guys today. Don't you get it twisted. We got a big show for you guys today. This is officially Volume 9, Episode 14. Track 560 of the MyT Sports Podcast. Listen, we got a big show. When I say we got a big show, we got a big show for you guys today. It's officially Friday. You know what that means. We're going to talk about the hot topics, right? We're going to talk about the topics that get you shaking in the club. We're going to talk about the topics that's going to have you popping bottles in the club. If you guys know what I mean by popping bottles in the club, and if this is your first time here, cheers to you. We're gonna smoke. We're gonna have a good time. And get yourself a beer, a drink, roll your joint, pack a bowl, get your spliff, your Fanta. Go ahead and put it on the table. Whatever you into. Let's go ahead and get into the podcast. If you know anybody that had a birthday yesterday and today, we do birthday shout outs at the beginning of every single show. So you go ahead and you start adding them. You start tagging them. You start putting them in here. And what we going to do in just a few minutes, we going to give them a little birthday shout out. But before we do that, let me give you a little show rundown. We going to talk about possibly, is Bill Belichick trash? We going to give you guys a Blue Chew promo code. Wait, whoa. Birthday people. Got me taking over my show so early. But you see them already on the tickler down there. You already see them on the tickler. I mean, like that. Ooh, baby, I think I love you from head to toe. We always keep a game on in the background. So we got the Knicks and Milwaukee game. We'll be back and forth because losing 53-43 to the... I may be lagging. I could have sworn halftime happened already. So I also thought I saw that a fan hit a half-court shot to win $10K. I saw all that. Right? So we will see what happens. Okay, you can win yourself a Blue Chew. We're going to talk about the NFL. We got Lakers versus Clippers in the Battle of LA. That just passed. I told you this was TGI Friday. Today is also National Sandwich Day? Maybe not, right? We got Harden in the system. We got V-Dub ahead of schedule. TGIF. I just can't get enough of it. Yeah, it's Friday. Right? We got Monday Night Jets. We have all that and more coming up next on the MyT Sports Podcast. But you know what we say here on the show? Regardless of the time and regardless of the weather,
they are who we thought they were. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
It's always a blast on the MyT Sports Podcast. So... let's start talking. Woo! Back at it like a sports fanatic. MyT Sports. Woo! Makes the blood boil. Hope you guys are ready for today's show. As you know, we're coming back to you on another lovely Friday. So I know some of you may be wondering, like, yo, where's the Instagram joint at? Yo, how come I can't see you? Actually, you know what? Nah, I'm tripping. I can go live on IG. I just can't share. I got banned on IG. In case you guys is wondering. Right, I found my predicament of a 24-hour ban. It's because of one of our topics we're gonna talk about today. Yeah. It's because of one of our topics we're gonna talk. It's probably gonna be our third topic of the day, right? and that involves the battle for LA that we saw the other day. I made a nice little comment on a LeBron James play, and apparently, it was not taken like LeBron sexuals. Panties got into a bunch. They must have went to the beach earlier because it sounded like they had sand in their vagina. So we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about them. We gonna talk about it all coming up next. Ooh yeah. I don't know why I'm macho manish. Right, but I am kind of mannerished today. Excuse me. Excuse me. I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna try to see if I can get the show topic on the Instagram feed, but it's doing its own thing right now, and I don't feel like fucking with it. Let me open it up. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it tells me when we open this bitch up. Let's continue drinking. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. So, before we even get started, right? One of the things going on right now is right, because not just for the Knicks in Milwaukee, it's the inaugural day of the in-season tournament for the NBA. You got a bunch of games on today, and we're gonna try to get into it. We're gonna touch base on them all, right? So, part of the reason why I'm bringing that up, right, is because I'm looking at the game, right, and as I'm peeking at the game, I can't help but notice that the Milwaukee Bucks happen to be in some we shit. That's right. I can't post. It's a good thing I can't post. I shouldn't be posting on this person's anybody's pictures that ain't my girls. Which listen, man, she's on thin ice right now. I ain't gonna like listen. She don't know she on thin ice. She on thin ice right now. Ooh, look at the Bulls joint. Ooh, that's tough. I like that. Damian Lillard goes down, but that's tough. Like, fuck that. Let's see if we can go live, right? Let's see. I want to see if we can go live. If we can get this thing on. Hey yo, my Negro copy. I need to see if I can go live because if we can go live, like, I may not be able to share it, but fuck it. If I can go live, like y'all niggas is in trouble. Cause you know I'm gonna do it. You know I'm gonna do it. If I can go live on Instagram and get the behind the scenes cam with Instagram going, I don't care about if I can't share it or not. There we go. Oh yeah, here we go. Because I can't share this podcast. I'm not gonna be able to share this podcast on Instagram because right the bronze sexuals, as I was mentioning earlier, right, they came after me after I made a comment on about one of LeBron James's play. Apparently, they don't know how to take a compliment. Apparently, a compliment has to be rose-colored filled. It has to be filled with the, like, you understand, if it farts, it has to be filled with the most incense glittered rainbow fart scented shit that you could ever have. We're talking about the kind of farts that you expect Barbie to have before you realize that Barbie farts. That's what they complimenting Barbie farts. But we ain't gonna talk about because right now, we ain't gonna talk about these pen. We're gonna leave them alone today until their time comes because their time will come. And for 24 hours, but you can't. This love gravy train from rolling back. Ooh, I don't know why I'm in my macho mode, but I am telling you, I am feeling it. Like, and I was wearing this shirt today because I really thought Veterans Day was tomorrow. I'm a whole week ahead of this shit. Mm, 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 mm. I really am. Hold on, let's see. We got the comments coming in already. The community is popping. They're loud. You guys are with me. Get your drinks ready. Hey, get your drinks ready. Get your joints ready. Pack your bowls. Get your drinks ready. We got to get it started, right? Hey, yo, DJ MyT, do me a favor. Let's go ahead and drop that birthday beat so we get these birthday shout-outs out the way so that we can go ahead and start this podcast today. Hit me. I said, hit me. Ow! I'm so sexy I can touch myself. Woo! I know you like that because yeah, it's your birthday. You said It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your because it's your birthday. We sing happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. All right, what we like to do here is we give a little birthday shout out to everybody that had a birthday since the last time that we was on the air. Last time we was happy to be on air, happy to be on Hump Day, which is on Wednesday, because we air 3 times a week live, every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, from 8:07-ish to about 11:07-ish. Today, our ish started us at 8:47. But you know what we said? I already told you, regardless of the time, regardless of the weather, which happens to be a very, 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 very lovely 72 degrees today. It's always a blast on the MyT. This is why. This is why. So if you know anybody had a birthday yesterday or today, it's time for us to get a birthday shout out, right? Everybody had a birthday yesterday or today. So if you ain't add them yet, you ain't tag them yet, they may have missed out. But if you get them in here, if you hear this and you get them in here, I'll come back, I'll double back, I'll circle around the block, I'll go around the block backwards. You know what I mean? I'll give them a nice little sunny disposition and give them another birthday shout out. I'm telling you, I need to stop watching URL Live before I come on these podcasts. Because if you ain't get that, I ain't gonna lie. If you didn't get that reference, you made us be too young. And this is not me taking shots at your age. I just realized I made a very aged reference. Oh no, that was close. Ooh, shit. I almost dropped my jersey. Woo. Let's get some things straight now. I just realized I got this jersey on my back, and this is not what the fuck is all this shit. Let's go leave this up here. Right? I had to get my 2 boys with me. I had to get my 2 boys. Where you at? Where you at? Get over there. Get over there. Get over there. Get your ass over there. Take my 2 boys. Get over there. Get over there. Get over there. Sharing about greatness over there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna stay right here so you can see them bitches. So you can see them bitches. So you can see them bitches. So you can see them. Oh man, let's go ahead and start these birthday shout outs. So we got birthdays for the second, right? I have like 3 birthday shout outs for the second for yesterday. Only 1 birthday shout out for today. So for today, somebody stands alone. For that first birthday shout, I want to give a birthday shout out to my homegirl Lisa Labito. La Vida. Sorry. It's feminine tense on it. La Vida. Right? Want to say happy birthday to yo, I met Lisa through one of my best friends, Crystal. Lovely young lady. Lovely. When I say lovely, oh Lord, lovely. Right? Personality, bubbly, part everything. Like just love it. Tasted wine too. You know what I mean? Like real proud. Yeah, I'm talking like a decade, right? Also want to say happy birthday to my homeboy Johnny West. Johnny West. It's been a minute since I seen Johnny West. I don't know if he's still in the area. He may have. He was the number 2 cook at Sharky's with every single. No disrespect. Like, listen, it's a personal preference. So we think he's number 2. To me, I think he got the number 2 headband. But that's still mad love and respect all day long. Also want to say happy birthday to one of my homegirls, Joanna Abrida. This bowl is damn near cashed. Just make sure I get it off. You know what I mean? Nothing goes to waste here. It's to waste. So I want to say happy birthday to also my homegirl Joanna Abrida. Mom, happy birthday. I hope her client is still doing well. All right, and I hope you're doing well as you know. I hope you're doing well too, right? And then we got the birthday shout. That's to my homeboy. That's to a homeboy of mine, Sean Boone. I want to say his name was Sean Taylor. What's your wife's maiden name? Taylor. Was that what it was? I can't remember exactly what it was. I want to say happy birthday to Sean Boone. Sean Boone happened to be an individual that worked at the Department of Defense. What it's a DOD building. The Department of Defense, the Defense Finance and Account Services building up in Indiana, and met him while working there. Like super, I don't know if humble, hospitable is the word I'm looking for. Super hospitable cat. Invited me into his home, where very quickly, like his spouse and I formed a spades bond and whooped his ass. But he is a blow. But yo, he was fucking awesome though. Listen, I took my ass whoopings there too, right? But it had, like you'll talk about you going over their house and playing dominoes and spades and all kinds of shit till like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like this is early. This is early in the morning days. Super early in the morning. Appreciate you. You never know. It's moments like that, right? Where people are that hospitable to you, that helps form you to the kind of person that you're innately ends up being. Right now, some people are just leeches, and when people are hospitable to them like that, they only see it as a way to take advantage of them. And then there's something like that you just can't help but give that out, and you give that out. Say each one, reach one, teach one. And sometimes you gotta reach out with your best face and not body on how to interact humanly with other individuals. So to get them all in a room, I want to say happy birthday to Lisa and to Johnny and to Sean for a happy birthday. I hope you party hard because this is Friday. A whole weekend to do this motherfucker. So I hope you enjoy it. You party, you were graphic. But more importantly, why don't forget to flex on these hoes and stay my. It's halftime. The New York Knicks are down 56-46 at that. I think we're gonna switch over to Miami Heat versus the Washington Blitz. While we check that out, let's get into our first topic. There's no special topics today, no hot topics, no MyT topics today. Topic for you guys today. So let's get into our first topic of the day.
First of all, first things first.
Victor Bams on Mamas. Yo, why am I seeing the Panthers and the Red Wings? And how do I even know that's the Red Wings? This is some bull. That's not what I'm looking for. All right, let's see what. Is it too early for that game? What time is it? Let's see what's going on with Chicago and Brooklyn. This will give me an idea if they just give me the wrong feed for that game, or see these games I have to watch with other. Yeah, they gave me the wrong feed for that game. Yo, look at this Washington, Chicago. See again, I'm resorting to Chicago. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am definitely gonna try to catch all of these games today, because more than anything else, I want to see these courts. I'm not going like NGL. I want to see these courts. These courts are amazing because also when you're seeing it, you're like, yo, if you do, and I see what the NBA did here, because if you don't know what's going on, you're watching this gameplay and you're like, hey, yo, what is this? What's going on? And what it is an alternative court, but it looks like some international ish. It honestly looks like they're playing on an international court. So you're gonna pause for a minute. You're gonna check this out, see who's actually playing, and realize, oh no, this is some other course they're playing on. And if you don't know what's going on today, you're gonna stay long enough to hear and inquire. And NBA is winning because I'm already sold. I'm already sold, and I don't give a shit about the game. These courts got me. And Victor Bams on your mama may be the real deal. Whew. Victor Bams on your mama may truly and fully be the real deal. We watched them. NBA invited you to their broadcast. I'm a little busy right now, NBA. NBA was trying to invite me to the talk on that shit. You gotta catch me tomorrow, NBA, or on Tuesday and Thursday. I'm not paying attention to my phone enough. My bad. I mean, if you want to collab, we can collab. Like, we can hit you with the collab. Let's see. Invite to join. Who's suggested? Let me see who they suggest me to invite to join. Victor V-Dub. I haven't figured out how to let his name roll off the tongue. Wabin Mayu. I gotta see his name written down. It'll work for me. But until I can see it written down enough times, I'm not gonna get his name right. So, but Victor Dub, Victor Wambi, Wabi Mabu, Wabi Mama, Wabi Mama. I don't know. I'm really like I am already ready to believe that he may be the real deal as a center. As a Hall of Famer, I don't know yet. As the next face of this league, I don't know yet. Next Shaq, the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the next Patrick Ewing, the next Kim Olajuwon, I do not know yet. Is he the next center? Is he the next one of all of those guys just as a center? Yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it. Now, granted, while it wasn't to this extent, early on you thought you saw the same thing in Kristaps Porzingis. Now, even as the Boston Celtics improved to a 4-0 record the other night with Kristaps Porzingis starting in their lineup, Kristaps Porzingis' talent has never been challenged. It's his health, it's his stability. He has the Zion stigma, the Kawhi stigma, the Anthony Davis stigma. He has to manage his load. Pause. And if he doesn't manage his load, then you can't guarantee that he's going to be there when you need him. And I ain't going to lie to you. There's a part of me that is truly under the impression that these guys like Kristaps Porzingis, and maybe I'm thinking about these guys when they're lower draft picks. Maybe the higher draft pick guys have always had this kind of leeway, right? This unending leash to fail, right? He was drafted so high. Look at his dynamics. Right, so a guy like Kristaps Porzingis, we find in this league a lot longer than I think we should. A guy like Kawhi Leonard, sometimes I feel like we have him in the league longer than I think we should. Paul George, I think that we have him in the league longer than I think he should. Guys can't play more than 70. Why you have him here? If you can't play 75% of the games, you don't belong on an athletic team. It's not for you. If you can't man up to say I could play more than 75% of these games, it should be honestly 80. But that's probably why they have it right at 65. That's just about 80% of these games. If you can't manage that on a consistent basis, then what worth do you have to me? You're useless to me. Every single one of them I've mentioned, I don't care. If you can't play in 75% of the games, you are useless. And honestly, it should be 80. You're useless to your team. Because missing 25% of the season generally means you're missing key portions of the season, even when your team needs a key run for pole position or when they need you in the playoffs. Whether it's playoffs or the pole, you're failing your team. And not just your team. Damn me. Sometimes I do things and I don't realize that I do them. But you don't just fail your team, you also have
failed this city.
You fail your city. Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City and Golden State. So a couple things. All right, I'm gonna start mentioning them that I'm noticing from these courts. The paint area is a trophy. I like that, and I would like that on every court. To be honest with you, Draymond Green trying to get himself a technical, and in the middle of the court, right underneath the backdrop of the team logo, is also a championship trophy. So this is very much so how you know the in-season tournament is there. You see, well, not the championship trophy, a trophy. So the paint looks like the championship trophy, and and the middle, right, when you do the jump ball, is just kind of a trophy. Maybe the trophy that they're probably going to receive, but it's a trophy. And then obviously every single court is different. Like right now for Oklahoma City, they have a very heavy light blue court with a dark blue strip going along the middle, writing in white. The OKC logo in orange. Now, for some reason, right, why this has its own appeal, this doesn't quite pop like the Chicago Bulls did. What like the Chicago Bulls court did. That may be the winner. Milwaukee had a ridiculously blue court too, but that could be paying homage to the lakes that surround them. If I'm not mistaken, Milwaukee got lakes surrounding them, and Victor Wembanyama has greatness surrounding him. All right, not just his aura alone, right? Where you see that there's this need and there's this want to be great, that there's this desire to, and you hear him talk about this desire to be one of the greatest. You've already heard him talk that he wants to be the first rookie to make it to an All Star, to get voted to the All Star game. I know a lot of guys say may hint towards that. Well, I like to make the All Star team. Like, nah, he was like, I want to be the first. And I ain't gonna lie to you. LeBron's rookie year, everybody thought him and Carmelo could have made it the first year. And that would have been dope as fuck. But the NBA and sports at times, they like to control the narrative, believe this or not. And they don't want to set the precedents in certain areas. And they don't think they were ready to let those two guys, or to let a rookie be in the All-Star game. But if there was any rookie worth it over the last 20 years, it was Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James. Like full facts. Think about this. Victor Wembanyama, whatever his fucking name is. Actually, when was LeBron James drafted? I think it's 2003. The LBJ draft. Yeah. And then I think Kobe's draft is 97, right? 96. And next one I'm going to do is MJ's draft. And just to show you what's happened here, right? They deserve their respect for this, right? LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony. Because it shows you how each one of them held it down, and then the other one just, reason why he was the number one pick. I would have been wrong. I would have been wrong for taking Carmelo. I would have been wrong if I was the Cleveland franchise and organization for taking Carmelo Anthony with the number one pick. I would have been wrong. But not more wrong than the Detroit Pistons general manager taking Carmelo Anthony with the number two pick. Darko fucking. Like, there are some names in sports that certain individuals can't stand to hear without it triggering some kind of regurgitation factor or a lip or just an disgust. Darko Milicic is that name for me. Tom Brady, Reggie Miller, other names of it for me. But Darko Milicic, I think, sits number one of players I absolutely hate. And I'm going to tell you this. I've realized that my hatred for Darko Milicic, I just realized I had this hatred for him. We're coming to a Jesus moment right now here together. We're sharing. This is live. This is true emotions, true and true enlightenment, and I realize I really do hate Darko Milicic for being drafted number two. Because of how big of a Carmelo Anthony fan that I was, and I am still to this day. I completely despise Darko Milicic for being drafted number two. My hatred should probably lean towards the Detroit Pistons organization, but rather aim it towards Darko Milicic. I don't know what kind of witchcraft I don't know what kind of selling of the suit did to make Detroit Pistons think that you were the next great thing for them to draft. But maybe I should be mad at Detroit. This is when you think you're too smart for yourself. You're too, yeah, let's go get this guy. Yeah. Y'all were better off getting ball. I just realized I'm not gonna have any Chill Will today. Like Chill Will is fully working today. This is fully his work time. We may get KJ today. We'll see how that works. We may get KJ today. We'll see how that works. I think we'll do that for that question too. May not be the same. But back on track. Victor Wambi, or V Dub, as I'm just gonna call him, right? You hear me talking about V Dub. V Dub is in the early stages is proven to be something commendable. And let's just look how when I was getting, I was like, look how long that it's really taken us to find. And I know, I think I'm tripping. I'm forgetting somebody. I'm forgetting. Yeah, I was tripping because I'm forgetting Steph Curry's draft. But see, I can't put Steph Curry like the star that we stumbled on in 2009. Let me make sure I put him in order because he came after LeBron James, and then I guess if you want to say there's Jokic, there's Giannis, but again, I feel like they're stumbled upon. You consider Kobe stumbled upon? Because if Kobe's considered stumped, Jerry West thought he had the best worker that he had seen. He just couldn't pick. He just couldn't draft a young guy like that. Charlotte, they had their trepidations because they were was it Charlotte? Who had a high draft pick that year? I forgot who had the number one pick that year. And they were just cautious of picking a Kobe Bryant or a high school kid. It was still unprecedented back then. Still super unprecedented back then. Okay, let's get back to this next game. But actually, before we get there, let's see if there's any other game that we can catch on. Because the way I was looking at it, right? We had MJ, 84, that draft. After MJ, it took us till 96 to find the next face of the NBA. The next great guy, the next guy that is going to win those multiple championships. You know what we're talking about. We'll talk about the next person that's going to win 3, 4, 5, 6 championships. Because that's what that guy does. Then we got Tim Duncan. Can't leave him out as well. So it was MJ, Tim Duncan, Kobe. Then we got LeBron, and then it took us till 2003 to get LeBron James. That's 7 years. Okay, not that bad by the time he's rookie comes up. Then it took us 6 years to get Stephen Curry. As it currently stands right now, the next group of guys kind of sitting at the ready. And I say they're in the ready because they already won their championships. It's Giannis and Jokic. Let's pull up that draft. All right? I'm trying to see, right? And what I'm doing a time log in a very weird way. I'm doing a time log because I'm trying to see how often are we getting these generational talents, right? In a weird ass way. But how often are we getting the next face of the NBA? Really? When is the next? And maybe this is why I was very specific. Then LeBron James and now Victor, because we're also talking about When is the last time when the number one over what should have been the number one overall pick or the number one overall pick, right? Like Jordan got fell to 3. That's crap. All right. So when is the guys that's being that was talked in to be the number one overall pick, and when they get drafted, that high, and they come in with the hype, because it's also the hype in the gravy train. The hype train before Victor is Zion, and when Zion plays like he's doing now, like he did last year, right when he had his team in first place, I'm almost at the middle of the season. Do I have New Orleans numbers down here somewhere? Did I write them down for anything? New Orleans. Because if I'm not mistaken, they only have one loss so far this season. Let me see here. Nope, I haven't. Because there's a bunch of teams I had to write them down. I had to write down their information for. I was not. Let me see. Miami, Dallas, Portland, Memphis, Washington, Miami, Chicago, Brooklyn, OKC. No. New Orleans. The only time I wrote down New Orleans today happened when I was talking about the Saints. All right, facts. Hey, sometimes I gotta double check myself. So I'm looking at these generational guys, right? So before Victor, we're talking about Zion, right? But as good as Zion is, Zion has already become an iffy guy for us, right? Wait, Zion Williamson draft. I forgot. I'm very specifically looking for these guys' draft year. So wait, who else am I missing? Who else I said I wanted to bring in here? See, Jokic ain't one of those high ones, but I'm gonna put in here just so I can have him to talk about for reference, because he wasn't one of these top. He wasn't one of these top draft picks. He wasn't one of those guys that was talked about coming out of the draft that he could possibly be. Wait, 2014 draft. Okay. Damn. Wait, he's been in the league 9 years. I thought he was in like 7 years. So he came the year after Giannis, and okay. Now we have Victor. So I'm looking at some of the former champions and some of the first overall picks, because as I'm looking at Victor. Victor early on, he's showing us that I could be that man, I could be that dude. But he also shows us glimpses of being the next face of the league. Should I put Tatum in? See, I have a hard time with Tatum. I don't know why. I have a hard time with Tatum. If I put Tatum in here, I got to put Luka in here. Okay, let's look at Tatum. Because, folks, and granted, as you can see, I'm not mentioning everybody I'm mentioning, right, is either a champion or we expect to be a champion. And Luka, who I still think should have been the first overall pick of his draft, but he didn't get drafted in first overall because he wasn't black. 2018. So Luka drafted before Zion. So these, and granted, I know there's probably a couple of more generational names popped up in between Mike, right, and Kobe. But because I can't fully remember them all. And I know some of them. We know who some of the people lost to Mike, who lost to Kobe. Some of the the Harold Miners, the Tracy McGrady's, the Michael Finleys, right? Like, we names that were constantly being compared to Michael Jordan, or could be the next one as they came out, but we all knew that that really is the case. Most of these guys are just reaching. So, face of the league, Mike. Next face of the league, got Kobe. Next face of the league, and he shared that. Let's make. I put Kobe shared that with Tim Duncan, but Kobe was more of the face of the league. Like if we're talking about them, right? He's the flashy warrior that all that is that everybody knows about is more that is the most popular. Tim Duncan is the guy that has just as many accolades, keeps his head down, not flashy, and all the warriors respect. They all know about him too, but they all also respect. So we have Tim Duncan and we have Kobe. Then we get LeBron James. Next up, face of the league, right? He first overall pick. He fell all the way down to seventh, but he emerges and becomes one. And Stephen Curry also becomes the greatest shooter of all time. After Stephen Curry in 2019, I'm sorry, in 2009, the next person we get is Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2013. Again, not the guy that has all the pressure of him of being the next face from the moment he's drafted, and that's part of the difference I'm talking about here of why I went from MJ to Kobe, and I don't even think Kobe had that. See, Kobe didn't even have that pressure when he was drafted. It just quickly came because he won early. Or he was because he won early and he was a Laker. He just put up those buckets, right? And his style, and when we're searching for the next Michael Jordan, he was fully the next. We can say you can see it. New York Knicks have made this a 6-point game with 4 minutes left to go in the third, 68-62. Offensive rebound by Milwaukee. They get a second chance at a 3-point shot, and they make that. I think that's Crowder. I call him, if that's Crowder, that's one of Kenneth Faried's sons. Dreadhead hustle, guys. Just so funny. That's what basically officially what I've made my 2K person into. Some dreadhead hustle guy. So our next guy is Giannis, but Giannis doesn't have the scrutiny or the pressure of being the first overall pick. He's basically a prospect with the ninth pick? What was he drafted? Was he? Walking Bus. Come on, just give me the easy information. Doesn't say. Easily. Let's see. Draft the Barclays. Okay, he was drafted in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn is what I'm saying. In Brooklyn. Not by Brooklyn. In. All right, I might as well just click the Wikipedia. Let this do its job. Do my job for me. He wasn't drafted 9th. 15th. He was drafted 15th. Who was the first overall pick that year? Anthony. God damn. Yo, miss. CJ McCollum, miss. Steve Adams, miss. Giannis. Who would have thought? Damn, they missed out on that draft so bad. Because if you're redoing that, you're probably taking Giannis number 1 and then CJ McCollum number 2. Rudy Gobert probably ends up being a top 5 pick. Damn. That one was tough. Nerlens Noel. Nerlens. Damn it. I'm looking at his name right now. Nerlens. Chuba, where you at? I'm looking at the name and I still couldn't say it right. Nerlens. Oh man. This is why I'm like people are taking shots at me on social media all day long. This is why. It's moments like this. So let me continue on my thought process, right? So let me see. We go from Steph, no pressure, Giannis, no pressure, Jokic, he's a second round pick, no pressure. All right, because and I'm bringing up Giannis because Giannis is going to be one of the After LeBron departs, he's going to be next in line to be one of the faces of the league. But he wasn't deemed that coming into the draft. And that's what I'm getting at here. So he don't have that pressure from him from day one. He has time to fail. Quietly, discreetly. While everybody just kind of fawns over how much better he's getting from year to year and talk about his greatness or potential greatness. We get Luka. Now Luka should have been one. I don't know somebody that dominates the way that Luka did that should not have been one. I know it was overseas, but if you're talking about the way he dominated overseas, if that was a college player, you're drafted at number one. Or if he was an American player that went over to that league and dominated like that, and that's why I say he only got drafted low because he wasn't black. Because if let's say the NFL has all their little rules and restrictions, and one of their American black high prospects, right, that has some kind of issue, so he probably would have fell, goes overseas, dominates for 1 year, the way Luka dominated that league, when he becomes eligible the next year, or 2 years, because Luka dominated that league for 3 years. Luka was dominating that league since he was there. What was it? I want to make sure I say this right. Because I want to say he was dominating that league when he was 15, but it could be when he was 16 and he got drafted at 19. He was dominating that league for 3 years. So if one of our American athletic knuckleheads went over there, because he only been a knucklehead if he went over there because he would have had all this shit to get drafted high, right? Big accusation and assumption, but I'm assuming it's correct on 85% of these people, athletes that go overseas. If he dominates over there for 1 year, for 3 years, 1 year, much less 3 years, when he makes himself draft eligible, he's the number one pick. If you do what Luka did. But because Luka is white and a European overseas, and you niggas ain't have enough time to look at him, then you undervalued him. I'm telling you, somebody needs to start finding out how San Antonio and Denver and Toronto, right, have certain players ranked internationally. Start finding them out, what their international prospects are looking like. And give those guys the more respect than you're giving them. Because Jokic should not be a second round pick. Well, let me not. Luka Doncic should have been a pick. I mean, you shit, Zion Williamson. So, LeBron James, the next, and get that could put to possibly the next face of the league is fat ass Zion Williamson. Luka Doncic is a fat ass too, but he didn't have that title put on him as soon as he got drafted. So he has that pressure. And now we're talking about 4 years later, we have now Victor Wembanyama. Now having that same pressure. So you, in one sense, I need you to understand this, that Zion Williamson has officially been put on notice. It's either nut up or shut up. It's fully nut up or shut up time. If you can't stay healthy to come into what the NBA was trying to market you as the next phenom and great thing, next freakish F of the league, come see this. It's our circ. Come see our flying man, our flying wrecking ball in the NBA circus. Let me stop. But if you can't make yourself out to be that, we have American-born Zion Williamson. We have no problem giving it to Victor Wembanyama. Because since the days of Akeem Olajuwon and Tim Duncan and Dirk Nowitzki, we see you get behind the right guy, you can get him sold. Tim Duncan, Jokic, Giannis. And now this, because you understand, Zion, they don't need you to sell the game. And I'm gonna tell you, and let me you understand this. They do need some players to sell the game. They don't need you. Right now, they still need LeBron. They still need Stephen Curry, and they do need a slew of young guys. They got Ja Morant, even though there's a parade inside of his city. Yeah, you know what I mean. But they do have the young guys that they need. They have Anthony Edwards. They have Ja Morant. They have Trey Young still. But there's a guy that was trying to make the face. They got Jason Tatum trying to make the face, the next phenom, and that was you. And if you can't do that, you're not gonna hurt their American sales. Their American sales are gonna be straight. If they don't have you, they got no problem pivoting over to Victor. Because when you practice Victor in France, right? And then you couple him with, damn it, I'm gonna be really shitty not knowing where Luca. I think Luca's German. No. But you couple it with Victor, right? And his region. So I'm gonna get around all that shit. Right? Luca and his region. Jokic and his region. And then you also add Giannis with Greece and Africa. And you got Toronto hiring every other African player. Like Toronto has basically cornered the market on the African player. Right? like they don't even worry about going European. We're like, fuck it, we just gonna go to Africa. Right? Like basically we just gonna start pulling up all these African, all these NBA, all these African basketball league guys. So as we're watching Victor the other night, right? This is twice in a very short time frame that he has beaten Kevin Durant and the loaded Suns. Remember, the Phoenix Suns, even though all these guys haven't played yet, when they played them, I don't care. They had one game they had Kevin Durant, that should be enough. The other game they had Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, that should be enough. If you guys need Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, so that's to beat a rookie in Victor Wembanyama, you have already lost this year's NBA championship. Because you won't get past LeBron if y'all face him in the first round. Oh God. Oh, it's gonna be an epic failure for you. I don't know who's gonna guard us. You know what? I don't know who's gonna guard us. Sounds a lot like, yeah, we good in the West. That's what that sound. It's giving off that same exact energy. Oh, you're welcome, Sean. I don't know if you're still watching. You are very, very motherfucking welcome. Thank you. It started with your hospitality. You're very welcome, brother. So, because the Phoenix Suns right now, what is their record? They're 2-3. Yeah, they're 2-3. Ironically, the San Antonio Spurs are 3-2. Two of those losses Phoenix have taken to San Antonio. So, and vice versa, two of the wins that San Antonio has against the Suns. And what? I'm telling you, the NBA is awesome. People talk, people talk about the NFL. See if I can write this down and see if I. Cause I think I already forgot what the original thing I was gonna say. But if Victor Wembanyama is already beating these guys, right? Just think of here we go, the boost of confidence that it will give you as a young rookie that believes in themselves, really believes I could be dominant in this league. And I go up against Kevin Durant, one of my idols, one of the guys I'm looking at. I'm watching his game. You know what I mean? I'm standing next to Kevin Durant, and he looked small to me the way small forwards used to look small to Kevin Durant, because he used to lie about his height being 6'9" when he was actually 7 foot. So when a 6'8" guy used to stand beside Kevin, like, yo, how the fuck are you this much taller than me? So when Kevin Durant at 7 foot is standing next to a 7'4" guy, you're like, why they got a little man on Kevin? I mean on Victor. Like, oh, that's Cav. Damn. Like, you understand? That Victor is the first person to be able to see the top of Kevin Durant's head. He gets a 4K view of that nappy world. I'm wrong for that. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. I should have, you know what happened. My bad. My bad. Who gonna guard us? You see, I thought Book was more experienced than that, because you saw John Morant say something similar to that, and it just didn't work out well for them. Don't let Malika or these motherfucking journalists smile at you with their pretty face and their gonorrhea lip gloss, right? I don't know why I gave Sexy Red a unnecessary plug. But when they're looking at you with their period lip gloss, right? I know way too much about this broad and what she does. How is this fucking possible? Her and Bronx Spice, I swear, these two young ladies, for somebody that has never sought out their music. Well, maybe I did for Bronx Spice. I did seek out her music. I mean, she's from New York. What can I do? I can't help myself. But I know way too much about them. What's going on, V? How you doing? For a young Victor, that has to be ultimate boost of confidence to get 2 early wins against one of the guys you consider your idol. It has to really give you that early jolt to be like, yo, I belong in this league. I think I can really put down. Now, granted, let's see what happens around game 50. He has this kind of spring and bounce back. You have to remember though, on Wednesday, I think we watched the game while we had the podcast. The San Antonio Spurs were down by damn near 20. I mean, we didn't watch it. Maybe it happened the day before. But the Spurs were down by damn near 20. Excuse me. Then they came back all the way to go into overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Did they go into overtime that game and come back and win the game? If they didn't go into overtime, then it came out to basically it was a last minute play where Kevin Durant had to inbound and they stripped the ball from Kevin Durant, and they get themselves a layup with contact to put themselves up by 1. But before that, during that stretch, you had Victor coming up with a key offensive rebound and getting a put back dunk. You had Victor putting up a mid-range fadeaway in the closing moments. You had Victor having key offensive and defensive plays to be able to help their team close out that lead. Even though he wasn't involved in the shot that closed out the game, he was involved in the defense that helped solidify that game. Because he played the inbound on that last play. He came over and played help defense on Kevin Durant's last shot. And now we get him, and then after that they turn around. Devin Booker's back now. After having that close loss to this rookie, Devin Booker comes back, and you have to imagine, right, that if you're Phoenix Suns, you're saying to yourself, We want to win this game. We don't want to lose twice to these guys, especially early. We don't want to fall to 2-3. We lost to these guys in the late. We kind of feel like it was robbed and shouldn't have gone to overtime. These guys are rookies. We need to go ahead and make a statement. And the statement that you make is that you lose 132 to 121. You get beat worse than you got beat the first time. This ain't good. It really makes me wonder about the San Antonio Spurs. And I think was that the only game. I think that was the only game I think that was on yesterday, or the only game of significance that was on yesterday. Is that game? And all I'm seeing from Victor, and all I'm hearing from Victor is the right things, because, as I was saying before, like, he's surrounded by greatness. He has a great coach, right? He has a great environment to fail because he's in San Antonio. So his fan base, that fan base, is not toxic like the New York Knicks fan base. That if he starts off 3-2, they're gonna wonder why they're not 5-0. Right? Like, they'll find something to just scrutinize him for. Or they'll be like, oh, I can't get excited because that a guy that frame, you just know he's gonna get injured. So why am I gonna get excited when I know he's just gonna get injured? How do you know that until you know what I mean? Like, you can't enjoy it until, like, see, yeah, I couldn't get this because now we was in position to get New Yorkers. So he's in a great fan base where they're going to appreciate him, and they're going to nourish him, and they're going to coddle him. Because also, they know that he's in good hands. He's going to get some All-State commercials too, probably. Then also, he has great vets for the organization in David Robinson and Tim Duncan. So he has great guys to onto knowledge of the game, to learn about your mistakes, learn where you could do better at, but also mentally how to get over some of these mental obstacles that you're gonna run throughout the league, that you're gonna run through being in the NBA in your rookie season or for a full season. You already heard he don't even go get his food. He said before he had to go he had to do everything himself. Now listen, if he needs something, he got 5 people that goes out and does it for him. That is very relieving. So he comes out in the second game and he drops 38. We got that game? I got all these. There we go. Yeah, we have that game right here. So Victor Wembanyama drops 38 points. Let's pull up this full box score. So Victor has 38 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, 3 fouls, plus minus 21. That is, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if did we take a screenshot of this. But if I'm not mistaken, that is amongst the top 5 all-time Spurs rookie performances. 38 points. This 38 double-double is also one of the top rookie performances ever in your first 5 games in the league. If I heard correctly, somebody say, what we just saw Victor do, it took LeBron James 65 games to finally accomplish. Now, granted, because I don't like when I hear stuff like this blindly. LeBron James also was a 7'4". Like I used to say about the people when they said, well, LeBron James, the people think I'm seeing LeBron James, I didn't see Kobe. Well, Kobe wasn't 6'8", 200 and was it? I think he came in the league like 235, 240. I think Melo was 235, he was 240. With 2% body fat and given the opportunity to play 46 minutes a game since the moment he was drafted. Just saying. There's little nuances everywhere. See, and this is why I hate when people say it, because it's not hate. there's nuance that you have to point out because not all things are equal, and you have to find a way to find that common ground, because if not, then you're judging them unequally. This is why I always try to find common denominators to try to judge people by: coaches, players, whomsoever it may be. Setting you guys up, you already know it. Because, and while Victor is great, is going to be great. Like I said, he has this triple double. I'm sorry, he puts up this double double against the the Phoenix Suns. And listen, the boss is balling out here. He dropped 38. Victor is the only player on his team to put up more than 20 points. Just to let you guys know this. While you have Kevin Durant over here with 28, and you got Devin Booker over here with 31, and a slew of people with double-digit points. They didn't come out. They didn't come at him with their full fury, but they had Durant, they had Nurkic, they had Allen, they had Booker, they had Gordon, they had Godwin. Sorry, Godwin isn't the same thing as it means in football. Scratch Godwin from the record. He isn't a determining factor in this. Sorry, Godwin. Nothing personal, but you just haven't gotten there quite yet. It's not a shot at you. I don't even know who you are, to be honest. My bad. Yeah. As you will never know who I am either, unless this just somehow miraculously gets to you. And if we start beefing, I hope it's in jest, so we can both benefit from this. Because it wouldn't make sense. It really wouldn't make sense. Coming up tonight, we got Dallas versus Denver. I'm going to talk about this. When do I have this? At the end of the show. Fuck. Because I really want to talk about this in-season games. Because, you know what? I mean, I could even. The schedule on Wednesday is a whole lot better schedule than today. And I know that they grouped players and they grouped teams and maybe and it could be that this doesn't fall in a group. But you understand that on Monday we had Cleveland and New York, Brooklyn and Miami, Indy versus Boston. But we had Memphis and Utah. And I just had to bring it up because Memphis happens to lose 5 straight games. I don't know what kind of parade they're going to have in that city. Well, we had also Sacramento and Golden State. These are the games that we had on Wednesday. While today we get Cleveland and Indy. Golden State, OKC. I guess that's okay. That's not a bad game anymore. This is me not giving OKC enough credit. But we get BK Chicago. Washington, that's not bad either. Memphis, actually, you know what? I guess they got scooped now. You know what? I take it all back. We'll take that all back. I didn't fully dissect those teams. But maybe I was kind of excited about what was on Wednesday. Wednesday was kind of excited. I was like, you can't blame you know Jello pudding. One of the things that happened on Monday was the battle for LA. On Wednesday was the battle for LA, where the LA Lakers took on the Los Angeles Lakers. And very ironically, over the last couple of years, since this whole Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers and LeBron James with the Lakers thing has started, the Clippers have gotten the better of the Lakers in a lot of these matchups. Believe it or not. The Clippers have gotten the better of the Lakers in a lot of these matchups. And that trend would continue on the other night, as the Lakers would lose this matchup. Wait, no. I'm sorry. My bad. I thought they had losses originally. But not the Lakers continue, but the Lakers would make sure that they take a hold of this rivalry, right? I'm pivoting like a motherfucker. Right? And they take a hold of this rivalry. They wanted to break the Clippers. little run that they've had as they've had their number over the last couple of years. They wanted to make sure that they get back on track because this is LeBron James we talked about, and we know that he don't like losing. Now, the Lakers will end up winning this game 125-130 in overtime. And this game is the reason why I got banned for 24 hours on social media, on Instagram. So I know we won't be sharing this on Instagram, but we all recording live, right? And I don't even know if it's visible, right? Because of that, right? But you know what happens, right? I'm gonna tell you this. This is why you don't argue with people on social media. Because even if you think you're just going back and forth in jest, right, about a topic, people just get too sensitive and they end up reporting you, and they reported me. And the thing about it, like, at least look at what they reported me for. Like, yeah, like you can't just be like, hey, yo, you got reported, so we gonna ban you for 24 hours. Like, yo, can I get my say? Can I tell you my side of the story? Like these niggas was being stupid. Like, so this game, it's not that this game, it wasn't even so much about the game, right? There was a play in which there's an interaction that happened during this game. I think some of you may have seen it. Some of you may not. I need to open that one back up. Some of you may not have seen it, but at some point in time, like on a couple of plays, right? A couple on back to back, I think on 3 straight plays, Russell Westbrook is cooking the Lakers defenders. Like I said, this is a close game. It goes into overtime, but he's cooking the Lakers defenders, and he's taking them to the hole, taking them to the hole, taking them to the hole, and they're trying, right? You see Austin Reeves trying. You see Ruchi Achimara trying. You see Cameron. He used to play for the Knicks. Shit. Forgetting his name. Cameron something. I think it's Cameron. But the guy that used to play for the Knicks. You see him, and he's trying his best. He just got called up, right? Because somebody had an injury. Maybe Rui didn't even play. I think Rui is in illness or something, so he ended up having to be called up. It's not Cameron. Richards. Nah. Cam Reddish? Cam Reddish. There we go. So Reddish comes along. Let me see where KJ's at. Let me just text him. The door's open. And the reason I just remembered about KJ because I wanted to save this topic until he had pulled up in here. And maybe I push it off. But one play had happened. Right? So and this all starts off this one play. A big old topic. This ends up being a massive topic on social media. I end up spending a lot of days responding back to a lot of idiots because I was basically just trolling them and reeling them in one by one. Because what happens is that LeBron James starts barking at his players. Hey, yo, guard this dude. All he's doing is he's like, yo, we're guarding him. You're just taking off. Like, oh, guard him. He's doing it. He's just taking off. Right? So basically, LeBron James, like long story short, LeBron James is barking, yo, guard your mans. Like stop having them take off on you. Right? Russ goes and scores, and one gets to the line, whatever. He goes, yo, keep talking shit. I'm gonna keep busting their ass. Right? So LeBron is like, you know what? Fuck this. Let me show you niggas how this is done. I'm a guard him. Steps up to the challenge. Basically, he calls him out. Like, yo, I'm a guard you. I bet you can't do that shit on me. We got the same athleticism. Let me see you do that shit on me, my dog. Which, if we know from the Oklahoma City series, this is also the same kind of strategy that they took to beat Oklahoma City. On the explosive Russell Westbrook, you put LeBron James on. On the less explosive, methodical James Harden, you put Dwayne Wade on. Kevin Durant was handled by Chris Bosh, and you got yourself your first championship on a young easy team of of easy young Oklahoma City. Easy pickings. Like you had enough athletes to match up with them, and LeBron James is the major athlete. Like people will talk, you understand? So the play comes along, right? And LeBron and Russell Westbrook takes him to the lane. LeBron James knows this because he's been guarding him ever since he won his first championship. Blocks him at the rim. I respond. 6'8", 250 versus 6'3", 190. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm not quite sure how the Bron sexuals took this. Right? Apparently, and I'm assuming it was Bron sexuals because I can't see me offending Lakers fans. 6'8", 250 versus 6'3", 190. That's what you're supposed to do. See, I come from an era where you don't allow guards to get into the lane. You don't give them the old lay. You either foul them, right? You either contest a shot or it's a hard foul. Well, you put them on their ass or you send them to the line. But you also constantly make them regret. What I expect is help defense from the weak side. I expect Anthony Davis to come over. Even on some of those, I expect LeBron James to come over if he understood the play so much. And I'm curious about this. The things that LeBron James was saying. How come Anthony Davis wasn't saying this was supposed to be his team? How come he ain't the one calling out his team and say, "Yo, y'all need to guard that man"? And then when they can't manage him, how come he ain't the one stepping up to guard him? Or to make sure that his next shot is blocked. So I'm not gonna forget that one. I wrote something down. Is that water? That may be water damage. Shit. I think that's water damage. Fuck. Seeing brown stains on my ceiling. But I know this was freshly painted. It's gonna be a concern because we can't have water dripping on equipment. There's too many electronics back here. All right, let's get. Let me continue. Where was I? Where were we? Well, let me see if I could jog the memory. That's right. Forgot about you guys. No, I'm joking. So I'm now being attacked on social. Attacked is a strong word, but I'm being attacked on social media. Right? They're commenting on everything I'm saying. What I'm saying, and they start saying like, "Yo, like you are the biggest hater." And welcome to Hate TV, right? Like, yo, I hope your weak ass podcast flops. Yo, they have words. Hold on, let me. I think I got some of them in here. And this shit was hilarious to me. What they say. Save all that for your weak podcast hater. What else? Well, granted, it was people that said he played harder than he did in the finals, right? Oh, damn it! It was so much other shit. I guess I didn't save them all. I guess I didn't take more screenshots than I thought I did. Well, I got more of all of my responses than I do their responses. Eh, don't matter. Gotta turn that a little bit more. I don't mean to come off camera like that. So I'm getting all kinds of responses. You go find some activity Instagram. You can find that shit. So I'm over here and I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck I said wrong, right? But I know what they're getting at, right? I fully understand what they're getting at, and I quickly understand that I quickly realize that they've misunderstood me. I really don't give a fuck that they misunderstood me, but I know that I can keep playing along with this for a while and just keep aggravating them. Until I just got to the point where I was like, so you guys haven't realized that I was complimenting him because that's what I expect you to do. If you're LeBron James, you're playing against Russell Westbrook, right? And he drives to the lane. If you lock in and you're the LeBron that you're supposed to be, you're supposed to get to that. You're the center that you're supposed to be, you're supposed to get to that. The rim protector, shot blocker, whoever you are in your role that you're supposed to be, you're supposed to get to that. Then people start saying, oh, but LeBron James is 38. Russell Westbrook is 34 with 2 knee surgeries. I don't understand what you're saying here. You're making it sound like LeBron James is 58. Or you're making it sound like 38 is the same 38 that it was when you grew up watching the NBA. No. When Clyde Drexler was 38 or when Clyde Drexler was 34, he on the court looking like he's 52. This ain't the same league. Is it the same league when Michael Jordan came back and played at 38? When Michael Jordan actually came and played at 38, for all you bronze sexuals that was coming at me, when Michael Jordan, I don't even think he played in these 38. I think he had to skip that year. But when Michael Jordan was playing in his latter years, basically his Washington Wizards years, you know why nobody judges him for that? You know why it's not the same thing? I hear people that's like, oh, what were you judging LeBron? What were you, like, I think I heard Gilbert Arenas say, oh, same expectation that you had for Michael Jordan that you should have for LeBron. Nah, because Michael Jordan wasn't still trying to run a ring. Michael Jordan wasn't still trying to chase greatness when he went to Washington. His career was solidified. He came back for the fuck of it. He came back because he was bored. He came back because he needed more gambling money. He didn't come back because he still needed to win rings so that he can try to jump up the scale or up the list of all-time greats. Most people that you talk to has MJ as the GOAT. And believe it or not, what LeBron James is doing is that he knows that he still hasn't passed MJ, so he's still chasing him. Because he hasn't passed Kobe, he's still chasing him. When MJ came back and played for Washington, he wasn't chasing anybody. He was Gucci in his shoes. He was solidified in his spot. I can drink, beat my meat, come play a game, and y'all niggas was love me. I'm good here. I did this as a business move. Let me go ahead and sell some tickets, bring some eyes onto the Washington Wizards so I could buy myself a percentage of this. So I could position myself to be an owner in here one day. And then next thing you know, I'm telling the Charlotte Bobcats or the Charlotte Hornets for $3 billion. Power moves. Like, these are the things y'all ain't understand. LeBron James still needs to play and still needs to win rings. Because y'all haven't solidified his greatness argument. He's great, greater than the people y'all keep trying to put him ahead of. He's this generation's GOAT. And for those that don't like to accept that, that is the honor. Because what the fuck does this nigga say? This was you in Germany. Oh. Because everybody that we bring up was technically the GOAT of their era. And if you talk to the right individuals from that era that know that has that individual as their GOAT, you can't convince them that that your GOAT is greater than their GOAT more times than not. It has to be definitively. Usually one of the things that helps with that is how many rings they won while being the man. And some people have to understand sometimes that each era, everything was kind of different. Certain eras, you only needed one superstar, maybe two. Other eras, you needed two superstars. You need three supers. There was a time that you needed three superstars because LeBron James made sure that everything was loaded in his favor. Let me stop. Y'all got me derailing. So in a time when I was actually LeBron James doing what 6'8", 200 pound power should do. The sexuals and few Lakers fans of the world took this as a jab, and I'm like, I don't know what more praise do you want? Because I'm saying that's what you're supposed to do. Is that not what he's supposed to do? When you have similar athleticism to the person that you're guarding, and you're bigger than them by 4 inches, and you outweigh them by 60 pounds, should that not happen? Oh, KJ ain't gonna make it. Flight delay. Gotcha, Pepe. Be safe. When 7'1" Shaq was being guarded by, or being approached to the rim by 7 guys that only weighed 240 pounds, we not expect Shaq to send their shit flying? When Kevin Garnett at 7'1", or when Patrick was challenged at the rim by some 6'8" guy, are you not expecting him to send that? This is the same dynamics. I don't understand here, and I'm giving you 4-inch differences, and he got a 5-inch difference on Russell Westbrook. Oh, he's 38. Russell Westbrook is 34. That's not a big of an age difference, unless you still think this is 1922, unless you still think this is 1992, unless you still think this is 2002. We know motherfuckers ain't aging the same way. Look at your grandma. Now look at your grandma's ma. They ain't age the same. Like, look at you. If you're in your mid-30s, 40s, you remember your elders in their 30s and 40s? Or before them 30s? Look at them, some of them pictures. Them niggas was old as fuck. Better health, better teeth, better skincare. Come on now, better eating. Stop it. The same evolutionary process that we give man for taking care of ourselves over the last 100 years is the same thing that you also have to recognize in athletes. So, for whatever you have of LeBron James being 38, Russell Westbrook is 34, and he's had 2 knee surgeries. It's incredible for LeBron James to do what he's still doing at 38 and his weight still. It's still incredible for Russell Westbrook to be able to do what he does with 2. I've been saying this for years. Oh, how much most athletes, we never stop talking about their injuries. I said this years ago. We never stop talking about the injuries. Their injuries damn near define them the rest of their career. You realize Russell Westbrook, we never talk about his injuries. All we do is scrutinize that nigga. It's like people forgot that Rat Beverly got goddamn knees. And try to do it a second time. We forget that Russell Westbrook had 2, not 1, but 2 knee surgeries, and has come back like nothing has happened. Him and Derrick Rose were damn near draft time. All we do is talk about Derrick Rose's injuries. Zion Williamson, all we do is talk about his injuries. Kristaps Porzingis, all we do is talk about his injuries. Anthony Davis, all we do is talk about his injuries to give an excuse on why he ain't great. Westbrook injuries never mentioned, because he has played so well. He's made you forgotten that he was even in begin with. And is that you want to hold LeBron James? LeBron James is 38. How is he supposed to get here? Well, the same way I don't expect a 34-year-old with 2 knee injuries to be able to blow past a 23-year-old on his team. I don't expect how I don't expect. I'm Deuce passing by. Don't y'all worry about how I don't expect. I don't expect how I don't expect a 6'8", 22-year-old. How I don't expect him to blow past a 6'8", 22-year-old on his team in Cam Reddish. I don't expect him to blow by Reeves and constantly score. You understand? You won't give Russell Westbrook the credit by doing that at 34 with 2 knee surgeries, but you want to give. But you want to hyper credit the fact that a 6'8", 250-pound guy blocked a 6'3", 190-pound 34-year-old with 2 knee surgeries at the rim. See how you want to use all of these little ancillary details to make what I was actually crediting as a play that should happen. Because of your size and advantage. Man, he's 250 pounds. He ain't supposed to get there. Man, he's 6'8". He ain't supposed to get there. This ain't 2002. And if this was 2002, have you forgotten what 6'8" guys are now? Rudy Gay, that's who they are. At 6'8". Camilla Anthony, that's who they are. Not Cam Reddish? Cam Reddish, that's who they are at 6'8". Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, that's who these guys are now. These guys now at 6'8" can keep up with guards at a regular basis. Ben Simmons. When you hear 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", these aren't the sloths of the past. These aren't Robert Tractor Trailer. This ain't Anthony Mason. This ain't Big Baby Davis. This ain't Charles Barkley. This ain't Karl Malone. Where you know for a fact that your 6'8" guy on your team can't keep up with any of your guards. No. This is a new era in NBA. You have to fully evolve with your thought processes. What you happen is that you guys are only going part way, and you're not even going part way. You're only going enough of a way to apply it to help benefit one person. And that's LeBron James. I don't have it loaded. You guys are lucky. Oh man, this is crazy. This is so bananas to me. I gave the man credit for doing what you should do. Because it was not just LeBron James, anybody. But then again, the weirdo beardo argument that started coming, right? After the 6'8" thing didn't matter. After 250 pounds didn't matter. Now I ain't gonna lie, the 250 pounds is a little bit more incredible because most guys aren't even 250 pounds in the league anymore. Like at 250 pounds, LeBron James, and I'm lowballing this, may be one of the 10 heaviest players in the league. But LeBron James, from the moment he has always been at least 240, and always had about 2% body fat, and we know how he keeps in shape his body. So that's the reason why I know that he has similar athleticism. So I don't care about the 250. All I know is that he shares similar athleticism to Russell Westbrook, and he always has his whole career. This is LeBron James. I'm sorry, based off your expectations, and I don't overboard or underboard. Games are killing me. Mm. So, just let him know, like, listen, you guys haven't realized yet. Giving him credit. 6'8". I gave you enough quick footed 6'8" people. They focus on the 250 pounds. It's comparable to his athleticism. I'm sorry. You meet him at the rim. That's part of it. You have body over him. 250. He should not. He should putting up layups over you. 38 years old. Okay. The guy that you're comparing him to is 190, and he's had injuries. You keep at. You're the problem. It tells me that everybody else on the Lakers is LeBron James. Because the fact that their whole team can't keep up with old ass Russell Westbrook anymore. That's a problem. And that may be a problem for real. Because Russ is the bottom of your problems when it comes to that. Damn it. Like he is the bottom of your problems when it comes to that. There are other guys a little bit more efficient at the stage of their career than he is without the knee surgeries. What else? What else did we come across? I'm not quite sure. They just wanted me to give him more credit than was deserved. Oh, then they said, and then somebody had the nerve to say, "Well, if it was the other way around, I'll bet you be all over Russell Westbrook." Yeah, I would. Because if a 6'3", 190-pound guy blocks a 6'8", 250-pound guy, that is a more incredible feat than the 6'8", 250 guy blocking the 190 guy. And I asked him, let's put this in words. When Nate Robinson blocked Yao Ming, was that more impressive? Or what he blocked or dunked on Yao Ming? Is that more impressive? Or was it more impressive when Yao Ming dunked or blocked on Nate Robinson? That's what we have here. Now, granted, that's the top of the scale of the bottom, but that's what we have here. We have a big man blocking a little guy. And it should we have a little guy challenging a big man at the rim, and it shouldn't happen. Big man took care of business. That's what you should do. You should send his shit flying. Especially after you guys were talking shit. And you stepped up to the challenge. You should send his shit flying. Then they went to, oh, you're wild thinking that he should be blocking every time. Who said that he should be blocking every time? We witnessed a specific scenario that happened. And in that scenario, that's what should happen. You should send his shit flying if you're going to step up and challenge. You should finish it off. One of you off, and LeBron James is the one with the physical advantage. So the onus is on you to impose your will. Actually, you're the one that started talking this shit. And you have the physical advantage. So the bigger, stronger guy was talking shit to the little guy, and then he did what he should do. When the little guy challenges you, you send him on his way. Apparently, I was wrong for that. For thinking that LeBron James should not be blocked. I'm wrong for expecting LeBron James to block Russell Westbrook. I'm wrong for expecting a 6'8", 250, 38-year-old guy to block a 100 to block a 6'3", 190, 34-year-old with 2 knee surgeries. I'm sorry for thinking that. Wow, I'm wild. I'm not the hater here. Actually, I'm not gonna. Like I said, I'm not the one being biased here. You guys are. Like, you guys are so bronzexuals. You can't see past the fact that you are overhyping this. When Victor Wembanyama blocks LeBron James, you know what I'm gonna say? That's what you should do. You have all of the advantages to be able to, except for weight. But with your height, your length, right, your reach and athleticism, yeah, he should be able to block. Now, granted, I don't know how strong he is, though. So depending on the scenario, LeBron James may be able to muscle past that arm, pass through that hand. That's something different. But you should be able to be block LeBron James. And if you don't, and LeBron James muscles through you, I'm going to be like, yo, LeBron James, it's a bad motherfucking play. Like if Russell Westbrook had dunked on Russell Westbrook, I'm like, yo, Russ, that's a bad fucking play. Because we know how elite LeBron James when it comes to at the rim and chase downs when he's locked in. Now the fact that you don't expect LeBron James to do that on every single play lets me know that you no longer believe that LeBron James is the kind of LeBron James that affects winning all the goddamn time, like I've been telling you. Because there was a time when LeBron James would do that on every single play when he was in Miami, part of the time when he was in Cleveland. That was routine for LeBron. So the fact that you don't expect him to be able to make that on every single play lets me know that on this Lakers squad, you just don't believe LeBron James is as great as he used to be and doesn't affect winning at the scale that he used to. And that's what I've been trying to tell you guys. Is that he's kind of falling off. Now, him falling off is still a great falling off place, but he doesn't affect winning at the rate that he used to. And that's what I'm keep trying to really tell you. And you guys aren't hearing it. You guys aren't here like, oh, you don't think LeBron James is great? Who's leading scorer in the league? What that has to do with affecting winning right now? Because LeBron James ain't doing that chase down on Russell Westbrook. Again, see? The old LeBron James wouldn't need to have to bark at teammates to be able to stop Russell Westbrook. The old LeBron James is providing weak side help automatically and getting to that ball. He's 38, he can't even do that anymore. I know he's 38. And that's generally when your age starts to catch up, you start to fall out your prime. See? You saying what I'm saying, you're just trying to use different words. See, you want to use his age, right, to highlight all of his plays, but not realize that his age is also one of the factors into why he is no longer winning championships at the clip that he's supposed to. But remember, he has to win championships at the rate that he needs to. He's still chasing. Michael Jordan in his Washington Wizard stage, his Washington Bullet stages, he didn't need to chase anymore. He was solidified. He was solid. He was good. So in this battle for LA, the Lakers end up winning this one 125-130. Still kind of wonder when is this going to be Anthony Davis's team? Because for you to pay Anthony Davis the way that Giannis is paid, I think Anthony Davis got his payment first. But for Giannis and Anthony Davis to be paid equally right now is a complete robbery because Anthony Davis doesn't give you consistent gameplay. We saw Anthony Davis in the playoffs. It was one good, one bad, one good, one bad, one good, one bad. And that ultimately was the formula that led to them getting swept by the champions. By the two-time MVP, Nikola Jokic. Anthony Davis ain't never been a two-time MVP. Anthony Davis has never been an MVP of this league. His MVP was did he win the most Fugazi Finals MVP ever? Was Anthony Davis the Finals MVP that year? I can't remember. I don't think he was. I don't think he would have robbed LeBron James yet. I feel for you, Lakers. Really do. Wait, I know we ain't been here 2 hours already. There's no way we've been here 2 hours already. 2 hours already. We've barely gone 2 topics in. Are my timers not working? Oh, man. We're just going to have to let this ride. Where do I want to go with this? So, on top of, like I said, the Lakers playing the Clippers the other night and beating them in LA, you had a bunch of good matchups the other night. You had Cleveland take on New York, and they also were in a similar scenario where it was their second game of a back-to-back. I think Miami had this. No, Brooklyn played recently in the preseason. And New York, we was here live on air when New York lost that game 95-89 after beating the brakes off of Cleveland 2 days prior to that. Brooklyn beat Miami 109-105. Indiana will lose horrifically to Boston. They got blown out 155-104 as Boston improves to 4-0. Indy will fall to a record of 2-2. Memphis Grizzlies having no kind of parade in their city whatsoever anytime soon if they're going to continue playing the way that they are playing with a record of 0-5. They lost to the Utah Jazz. There's a part of me wants to pause here, but I'm like, what for? I feel like anything you're gonna say about Memphis was said last year. But last year, with or without John Morant, last year's team found a way to win. They've made some changes this year. A lot of changes this year. Remember, they got rid of Dylan Brooks. Who else did they get rid of? Was Dylan Brooks the only guy? Because they kept Muscle Hamster, right? They kept him. They still got Jared Jackson. Steve Adams, I think, is still injured. Didn't they lose? They got Marcus Smart. They got Derrick Rose. And you would think Mark easily replace what Dylan Brooks was for that team. And then you would assume that Derrick Rose comes in there to be a nice veteran. But the thing about it is that the people that talk, and I've seen this too, everybody talking about, man, Derrick Rose can still play. Why did the Knicks get rid of him? Man, look at this guy. He can dunk and he's stopping himself from dunking. Where's his defense at? What's your team efficiency rating when he's on the court? What's your defensive efficiency rating more than anything when he's on the court? We all know that Derrick Rose has spurts and he can give you some numbers, but is he able to play the defense that you need to play? If I'm gonna tell you as a Knicks fan, if Derrick Rose is a heavy part of your rotation and you're expecting him to be a determining factor in winning, you need a better option. He can't be a number 2 point guard. He can't be a backup point guard. He needs less minutes than your back. He can be in there, but he needs less minutes than your backup point guard. He needs less minutes than your backup shooting guard. He needs to be the backup to those guys. If Derrick Rose is in your lineup, he needs to be like the ninth man in rotation. And I'm not saying that out of any kind of disrespect to Derrick Rose. He's just kind of fallen off. Like all great players with great attributes, they can always give you flashes of greatness, but can they consistently affect winning? That's the reason why they were drafted as high. It wasn't just because they looked flashy. They had moments of this here, moments of this here. If they had moments of this here or moments of this here from the moment they were drafted, they would be prospects to the moment they were out the league. These guys were great at once. The greatest of the great at once. MVPs. When they fall off, they look like average Joes in this league at times. But average Joes don't affect winning on a consistent basis. They are role players. So now you have to start determining what kind of role player do you want your fallen from greatness great player to become or to be. I love Derrick Rose. Love Derrick Rose on the Knicks. Love what he did from a locker room standpoint. Love what he did from a leadership standpoint. Love what he did for that first couple of years when he was able to play. But eventually, even guys like Emmanuel quickly were having a better wins over replacement than him. He had a better efficiency rating than him. He was effective. He was effective winning more than Derrick Rose was. His defensive efficiency was better. And then you're gonna say, well, of course his defensive efficiency. Derrick Rose is like 36 years old and he has 2 busted up knees. You mean like Russell Westbrook? Because Russell Westbrook, I think, is past his prime too. Believe it or not. He no longer really affects winning like that, but I also believe that Russell Westbrook is never going to be put in this position to affect winning the way that he needs to anymore. Russell Westbrook is a ball dominant guard, and that's how he affects winning by being ball dominant. And he has to put up those 10 for 31 games, kind of like what Donovan Mitchell puts up now sometimes. The Donovan Mitchell, I still have one of these James Harden kind of birth date kind of games. Well, you know what I mean, like 12 for 30, 11 for 28, 10 for 2. I don't want to go down the same soliloquy again, but I love Derek. I really do. But if they're giving Derek Rose a big, if they have increased Derek Rose's role to a point where you need him, I gotta see this. To a point where you figure that you need him, you need productivity from him to win games, then you've already lost. And for the Memphis Grizzlies, it looks like that may have been the case 5 straight games. Jesus, they got blown out too, 133 to 109. Filthy, nasty, disgusting. I gotta find my games. Sacramento and Golden State would put on another classic game as this has been over the last 3 years become one of the must-see matchups of the league. Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors, swipe or no swiping, De'Aaron Fox versus Stephen Curry has become one of the marquee matchups. That when I see that they're playing, if I can remember, I want to make sure I watch that game. If I missed it, I want to, as soon as I get the opportunity to through the NBA app, I want to be able to watch the re-air. I find it ironic, right? This whole the NFL NBA script. But let's talk about the NBA script, the NBA script, because when this first started, right? Let me see if this. When the season schedule was first put out, and we got the Christmas Day games. Excuse me. A lot of New Yorkers, a lot of people's first reaction, especially New Yorkers, was wondering why are we getting Milwaukee? We have no beef with them. There's no rivalry there. There's no beef. Just putting Giannis in the New York market. There's nothing there for us, right? It's just Giannis and Knicks. Even now, as one of the first games in the in-season, we have Milwaukee Knicks. Two thoughts come to my mind. One thought kind of screams, what did the NBA know? What did the NBA know by having these matchups? Because there isn't there. Did they know Damian Lillard was coming to Milwaukee? Or the other one that whispers to me, which is probably the more logical one. By putting Milwaukee, and when they put Milwaukee and New York for Christmas, did they know that there was nothing really there? So they're trying to manufacture some kind of rivalry there if they can. Because if we ever see Milwaukee, it's going to be in the second round. Every time we see Milwaukee, it's going to be in the second round. I shouldn't say every time. Because if they're 3 and we're 6, there was a first round matchup. Yeah. But I'm assuming the Knicks are consistently going to be 4 or 5, but a 6 spot I can also see as well, and then that always leads you to Boston, Milwaukee, or Philly. But backtrack. Is the NBA trying to manufacture a rivalry with Milwaukee and New York by constantly trying to find ways to put them against each other in these marquee games for the NBA? Or in the script, did they already have it written that Damian Lillard was going to go to go to Milwaukee, and so we are going to have to make sure that this is juicy when they get, because I ain't going to lie to you, with Damian Lillard here, I kind of want to see that matchup a little bit more now on Christmas Day. With Damian Lillard here, I want to see this matchup for the first in-season tournament game. I'm intrigued. I'm locked in. Have my undivided attention. Let's go watch some sports. I am up for this. I am fully up for this. And you can be fully up for this too with Blue Chew. What's Blue Chew, you ask? I am glad you asked. Blue Chew just happens to be a little blue pill that can get you back your thrill. Just a few chews before you do. It has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so this is one opportunity you just can't miss. For a very low cost, you can beat it up like a boss, and she will love how you come through like a champ when you Blue Chew in advance. And if you use my promo code of GSSS, you know what that sounds like. You can get your first order of Blue Chew for free, and then she'll all over the place. Only thing you have to pay for is for shipping and handling. Listen, don't question it. Help your postal workers out. They out here, rain, snow, sleet, or hail, right? Trying to make sure, if you're in Florida, 852-degree sun, right? Trying to make sure that you can rise up to the challenge. So rise up to the challenge and make sure your postal workers are taken care of. And that way you can do the do with other style that you want. Whether we're talking missionary, doggy, jackhammer, froggy, shout out to baby boy, right? Whatever style is there for you, Amazon style, right? Listen, it's going to be more discreet than an Amazon package. Don't even worry about that. It don't matter what your style is. Blue Chew is for you. Whether you need it or you want it, Blue Chew is there for how you want to do it. Whether you want to do it Lionel Richie, sorry, if you want to do it 50 cents, when you do it LL Cool J stuff, you doing it well without the 21 questions, right? Or you want to do it all night long like Lionel Richie. Listen, Blue Chew is for you. Listen, you may not need it, but you was talking a little bit too much shit in them DMs, and you want to make sure that you do all the things that you said you was gonna do in the DMs, and you Blue Chew it. Because with Blue Chew, there's only two things you have to worry about. You chew it, and then you do it. That's it. Next thing you know, she's outside your crib with a boombox. Tell my Obama. Sorry, no, my bad. I gotta update my references. My boyfriend, my boyfriend, my boyfriend, my boyfriend. Blue Chew, Blue Chew. You might as well put that voodoo on it. Stop. Let's chew it and do it. Let's chew it and do it. Oh man, how much time we got? I know we coming up on our 2 hour mark pretty soon. And all that means is for our people listening through the Podbean app. You know what's so funny? All that is, it means that we're gonna have to change you guys over. And what the Podbean app is used for is for our call-in line. Right, so if you're ever looking to call into the podcast, there's only 3 ways to call into the show. That is through my phone. That is through my direct phone number. My phone is off right now. That is through Instagram. That's my behind-the-scenes camera Instagram. That's off as well too. Or through the Podbean app. So today there's only one way for you guys to call into the show. I love when basketball season is here, and I'm not gonna lie to you. See, all those names that you heard me mention, these are the names of individuals that are going to have to carry this torch moving forward. And some of these guys I kind of left off, but I mentioned some of the main ones. Zion Williamson, that's one. We got Luka. We got Jason Tatum. We got Jokic. We got Giannis. We have, and I'm going to stop at Giannis, right? Wait, so that was Zion, Luka, Tatum, Jokic, Giannis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. That's not to. That's not even. And we still haven't put in Victor, Anthony Edwards. Do I want to put in Trae Young? I don't know if I want to put in Trae Young in here. That's about 7. One, and once the LeBron James era is over, and they'll have a couple more years, right, before they're done. Right, that's just if it ended today. These are the 7 individuals, but also these are also the 7 individuals. For the next couple of years, we're gonna be looking like, yo, bro, you got to put some rings on them fingers. Some of you guys, you got to add to that hardware. Giannis, we know you got that one, but we'd like to see you with two, even though we know that one got a whole lot of weight to it. You could barely lift your hand up. Like you had to build yourself a special suit of armor just to handle that infinity ring. We gonna have to need you to add the second one to that gauntlet. Jokic. I know that you don't like to touch a basketball in the off season, but we know you like parade. You're gonna have to parade again, pimping. Now, granted, you don't care enough about your legacy to even have this. So somebody like Giannis, like to him, get this done, right? I guess for the people that don't care, like who cares if you don't care? We don't care about you, really. So if Giannis keeps portraying that this means nothing to him, we won't care if he's successful or not. Like, yeah, you got your one, move the fuck on. We don't talk about you. If you really don't care. But for the guys that we can try to force to care, right, or scrutinize, they don't care, like Jason Tatum, Zion Williamson, Luka Doncic, right? I mean, Bubba. Those guys are here. Then they're gonna be fine. And then you have to figure too, if LeBron James plays to year 25, which I believe is that he wants to do because he wants to say that he played to age 25. He played for a quarter of a century at a high level, and that's going to be used to try to help his go. Oh my God! None of those guys played for 25 years at that level. Well, about the year of 2000, every player that came into the league was smoking cigarettes and cigars like it was Kool-Aid. Care about their health, didn't take care of their body. Like, so with newer technology and new information, I expect more of what we see now. I expect to see longer careers, but I really don't. I really don't. I still believe that there's going to be a phenom with 10 years that can really play to year 20 at a high level. This is because there's still a lot. You guys understand that you basically asked them to put in a full 20-year military service, and that only lasted 7. It's hard as fuck to be able. I think that a lot of players are now finding these loopholes in resting and everything else to be able to try to milk the system. I could have stayed in the military and milked the system if I wanted to for another 5, 6 years, 7, 13 years. I could have. There are loopholes around it. It doesn't feel right. It feels dirty. And what happened is that people used to shame you for that. They did. They used to make you feel bad for not being your version of yourself. Now people are like, nah, sit back, take that money, fuck, like act like you're doing it. I guess when you're talking about 185 million, sheesh. Like John Wall's contract. Like John Wall has barely done a goddamn thing in that 4-year contract. I don't think he would, but only barely done a goddamn thing in those 4 years. He had that contract. In full and collected like 200 million. And I'm surprised that the NBA hasn't tried to make sure that happens, right, or try to find a way to cycle these out a little bit. He has upped so ridiculously. You got to get. That's what you do to go through your evaluation process and recycle faster. He's a family friend, right? But I'm tired of holding on to the Paul Georges, Kawhi Leonards, right? I understand, and because a guy like Brandon Roy got this opportunity, get held on to so he could load manage, play 82 games, you're done. Fuck out of here. That's where it used to be. It wasn't. Oh, let's hold on to Brandon Roy, and if we could get him for 50 games, it's better than nothing. Like, no, I'd rather have nothing. than have him healthy for 50 games. And it be 20 games in the beginning of the season, no games in the middle when we need him, bad playoff position. Maybe we see him in the first round, and then he gets injured again in the first round, and he can't do what he does for us because he hasn't built up the stamina. His body doesn't have the stamina, right, to be able to last. Like, that means something. Those are the guys that deserve to get paid. I don't understand holding on to these half useless to these 2/3 players. I'm sick of it. All these iffy guys. I don't understand. I feel like the league is built around iffy guys but they're making them matter. It's iffy guys that matter. The guys that used to matter weren't iffy guys. I don't remember them being iffy guys back in the day. I really don't. I don't remember them being iffy guys. I think my next game should be over by now, but I'm gonna peek in. Pretty sure they fucking lost. But since we're talking about losses, right? Let's go ahead and pick some winners and losers, right? Let's get into NFL Week 9. Like, we're basically in the midseason. I don't know if you guys realize this, right? But we are basically at the midway part for the NFL, right? We're right around season 9, week 9. Jesus. Looks like that game is done. Okay, so Washington lost to Miami 114-121. There's a part of me that's kind of curious to see what this Jordan Poole experience is gonna be like. We saw him get blocked by Christoph Porzingis the other day on a 3-point shot at that. So we have week 9. Let's get we'll talk about the results from today in a minute. Right, that's really all we have on today. Right, is that basketball, more basketball. 10:49. You think Golden State, Oklahoma City is done? And if not, we know where we're going to. We're gonna go to Dallas and Denver. We're gonna check out those two foreign phenoms. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Is that, I forget his name? Akawamambi? the short guard. But it's official review going on. I don't know what the review is, but there's 0.2 seconds left in the game. Golden State Warriors players are clapping, and I guess the point count, the score counted, or the bucket counted, whatever happened, because the score just changed from 139 to 139, tied up, right, with 0.2 seconds left to go, to 141, 139. Golden State is now up with 0.2 seconds left to go. No team has a timeout, it looks like. So if Oklahoma City is inbounding this ball, it looks like they're going to be sending this full court with 0.2 seconds left to go. Crap. If I see something miraculous that happens, I am going to end up losing my shit right here on the podcast, and I don't know if we'll continue. He launches it, goes up, they try to tip it, it's over. And the Golden State Warriors, if I'm not mistaken, they now improve to 5-1, which I'm kind of surprised about. I don't think this Chris Paul experiment is going to work. But the way they have been celebrating, right, after every win lately, has been getting to me. Because Stephen Curry ain't no spring chicken either. He like 34 too, I think. If I'm not mistaken, I gotta check his age too. Sure, he ain't young either. But he ain't old. These guys still have a lot to give. Now, not all of these guys have the same to give anymore, but what we have is that we've expended the whole entire sports career. LeBron James and Tom Brady has extended our expectancy of the sports life, especially for our top guys. Now, they've done it to a detriment too, because there's some top guys that don't deserve to be past year 14, 15, or 16. They really don't have it past year 12 for some of them. But because we've seen LeBron and Tom Brady do it, we think that they can. Now, I know there's a lot of things some of these football players can, and I wonder if they can or cannot get some of these wins, right? We saw Pittsburgh beat Tennessee as we predicted, right? Because post Hall of Fame quarterback career, Mike Tomlin, to me, has been better than Bill Belichick. He is a better coach than Bill Belichick. Post Hall of Fame quarterback. Basically, in this rebuild process, I believe Mike Tomlin has been better. Now, last podcast, I was shown and was deemed wrong. Only because Bill Belichick has won one more game than Mike Tomlin did last year. This year isn't done yet, right? If we're talking about record, Mike Tomlin has the better record, right? So the immediate year that each one of their right after their Hall of Fame quarterback, Bill Belichick won 10 games and made it to the playoffs. Mike Tomlin won 9 games and missed the playoffs. Now we'll see what happens in the next year or the years to follow. But so far in what is the second year, Mike Tomlin has a much better record right now than Bill Belichick. Now we'll see if he's able to make the playoffs and kind of put things back even. But I'm looking at it more than just the record, obviously. I'm looking at his playoff appearances. Because like I said, at least so far if you look at records, they're highly similar. I'm looking at how they connect to their players. How it looks like they truly are connecting with their players. How they are able to connect with the wave of new young talent coming in of the current talent in the NFL. There's always a rough disconnect with Bill Belichick and players. And if the only players that you can motivate, right, are 2 and 3 star players because they need you more than you need them, then never gonna get it. So until you get those 4 or 5 star guys, it's like, yo, you need me over here. Let's get this shit done. Until you start getting something a little bit more riskier, New England's gonna fall short. And like the New England fan base has been saying about Bill Belichick, he's gonna be considered a fraud. Right? He's gonna be considered a bigger cheater than Lance Armstrong. This is the New England fan base. These aren't my words. Words coming out the New England fan base. This is how they feel about Bill Belichick. He's not good without Tom Brady. Fraud. Cheater. Biggest fraud since Lance Armstrong. Let's stop. Okay, let us continue. Right? Like I don't know how I'm talking up on Mike Tomlin keeps winding up and me taking shots at Bill Belichick, right? But it just happens that way because. And let me explain. Let me fully explain to you what's going on here. Is that there are some coaches that were always blessed with Hall of Fame talent, right? And when they don't have that Hall of Fame talent, is when they probably should be judged the most, judged the best. What are you doing now? What are you doing with the average Joes? What are you doing with when you don't have the Hall of Fame core? What is it? What are you doing when you don't have that ornament pin that can rally the guys? Like, what is your culture like? And my phone is at a decent spot. When I keep thinking about today's coaches and think about the great coaches of today, I run around a bunch of names, and you guys understand that I've called Bill Belichick the Billy of goats. Not just a goat in his time, the Billy of goats. And that is it is being questioned. Bill Belichick without Tom Brady is not looking impressive. And I know you may say, well, he had Tom Brady. I mean, a lot of guys don't look impressive unless they have that Hall of Fame quarterback. No, that's a fucking lie. Because the good coaches look good regardless of what kind of quarterback they have. And we've seen it. We're seeing it. It's the reason why everybody always wanted to get a Shula or God damn it, the Giants coach. What was damn it. What was the Giants head coach? Who am I forgetting about? Everybody always talks about being this kind of guy. Not Mike Tomlin. The guy before Mike Tomlin. with the big head. Denver's up 44-31 over Dallas. Dallas surprisingly is undefeated with a record of 4-0. Denver has one loss of the record with a record of 4-1. So these are one of the top teams. And also, may I mention, Group B of the in-season tournament. We'll talk a little bit more about that after we do our picks. Give me some pick music, man. Shit. Tired of asking. I said shit. There, Well, I know Bill Belichick has been great over the last 20 years. How great are you without a great quarterback? Because when I think about the great coaches of this era, you know who comes to my mind? Pete Carroll. Because I've seen Pete Carroll do this with Russell Westbrook, and then I see him turn around and do it with Geno Smith. Now, am I saying that he won championships? No, I'm talking about be successful. Keep their franchise afloat. Make it mean something. Win games. Motivate motivate their crew. Have people wanting to go there. Having 4 or 5-star talent that wants to go there. Having people that want to play meaningful football and want to go there now. When you don't have the Hall of Fame quarterback. I've seen Pete Carroll do this. We've seen Andy Reid do it his whole career until he finally got Patrick. Your end zone is Mahomes. We've seen who I said Pete Carroll, I said Andy Reid, the Shanahans, right? Regardless of who they put in their system, they just kind of find a way to make a quarterback be productive and look good. And I know some of you are gonna run into mention how Brock Purdy has been looking over the last 3 weeks. What about all those other weeks and all those other quarterbacks? Okay, let's move forward so I don't have to run backwards and double around for slow people. Now, also in there, I was curious about Mike Tomlin. Also in there, curious about Bill Belichick. In your rebuild, how are you going to look? I'm part of my curiosity because I thought Bill Belichick was untouchable. And then I realized the New England fan base hasn't even given him 3 years before they turned on him. He hasn't even gotten 3 years to rebuild that organization, and they've officially turned on him already. He's officially on the hot seat. You understand? Most franchises can't even fully rebuild before 3 to 5 years, even 7 if you want to be reasonable. But no head coach is going to get 7 years. Most of them barely get 5. They're going to get the 3. If they're lucky. But he's been given no time. And yet they've completely turned his back on him. But then again, as I mentioned, there's a slight disconnect between Bill Belichick, the coach, and Bill Belichick, the general manager. Bill Belichick, the general manager, keeps getting him 2- and 3-star talent and telling him to make soup out of shit. And I've actually seen this being done before on our Twitter feed. Like somebody opened up an intestine and made soup out of shit. I actually seen it done. But this is what you're asking him for. You're basically asking him to walk on water. And he's never been a religious man a day in his life. Like that's who you're not saying he hasn't been, but that's what you're asking of him. And I know that there was a time frame when he did this, but when he did it, he's when he also the support of a Hall of Fame quarterback. Now, when you don't have that linchpin in your franchise, who are you going to get to do this for you? If it's not you, or if you're constantly getting guys that need a little extra oomph to be coached up, not just from you, but also whoever that great guy is in the locker room. I really thought Bill Belichick had a pass. Apparently, he doesn't. So as I start to try to judge all of these coaches equally, like Sean Payton's falling off to me. Just I didn't mention his ass. I probably should put him in here. But as I start to think about all these guys, I started thinking, okay, a lot of you guys had Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and now you don't, now you don't, or you had a Hall of Fame quarterback at one point in time, and at one point in time you didn't. And how have you looked in both scenarios? How have you looked in the rebuild and in the glory days? When shit was good, how did you look? When shit was when shit was sour, how did you look? And some of them look a whole lot better in the sour years than Bill Belichick has so far. But again, Bill Belichick made the playoff in his first year. But that's also a residue lineup of what Tom Brady had. You forget. That's just basically the carryover of what Tom Brady had. And then the very next year falls apart. Are they not listening to you anymore? Do they not quarterback? Is the quarterback not developing, or you not developing them? Okay. Let's get into the picks, man. Let's get into the picks. Right? For the first time ever, we have a game going on in Germany where we have the Miami Dolphins going on to play the Kansas City Chiefs in Germany. This is one hell of a matchup. We have both of these teams with a record of 6-2. This is one high-powered offense that has put bling on their rings, and another high-powered offense that is trying to show that they can swim with the big boys. Tua got a tongue twister. Patrick, your end zone is my homes. The Chiefs versus his former team, Travis Kelce, no Taylor Swift in the. The Miami Dolphins have been out days now. From what I hear, they're not there today, or they're getting there tomorrow. That alone would I forgot one of the sites I need to pull up. That alone, right, would generally sway me towards picking Miami. But I hate Miami, and I have to find every reason to justify picking Kansas City. And the thing that I found to I hope you guys heard who you should be picking in. I hope you guys hear who you should be picking in this. All right. So what I heard that helped me justify going with Kansas City over Miami is the fact that Andy Reid is undefeated in these overseas matchups. So while I generally believe that it should benefit the team that went there a little bit earlier, gave yourself time to adjust to the jet lag, rest your body up, and get accustomed to the current time. Andy Reid is like, nah, none of that. We're gonna go over there. We're gonna treat our schedule as this is over there. We're just gonna function 10, whatever, and then we're gonna play our game. Like, damn. If Kansas City ended up losing this game, I won't be surprised. But I'm going with Kansas City. I am fully going with Kansas City because I hate the Miami Dolphins. And that is the only reason why I'm not picking the Miami Dolphins to win this game. Because if I had any kind of like or respect for the Dolphins, I probably would utter the words out of my mouth that they are the ones that should be picked to win this game. But because I do not, I am telling you right now, you go with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I will also let you know that me picking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Miami Dolphins is a heart pick. And if you're familiar with the podcast, you know exactly what a heart pick means. Next up, we also have two teams with the same records going up against each other. We have the Minnesota Vikings going up against the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to have to go with Atlanta. Right? I'm going to have to go with Atlanta on this one. And it's because that Kirk Cousins is injured. Kirk Cousins, the ultimate 500 guy, right? The ultimate average quarterback. Even though he puts up above average numbers, his winning is average. He's injured, and until I can see that the quarterback that they bring in here is going to be a difference maker when it comes to wins over Kirk Cousins, I can't quite go with Minnesota to win any more games probably this season. Unless they're going up against just some of the horrible teams of the league. Maybe I'm like Arizona or Miami or Chicago or Carolina. Maybe one of those guys. But unless they're playing them, then I probably won't be picking Minnesota the rest of this year to win any games whatsoever. Unless they play in, like I said, Carolina, Miami, Arizona, or Chicago. Or the New York Giants. Or the New York Giants. Can't forget those lovable losers. Oh man, they coming after me today. I see it. They were coming after me today. It's okay. I've been loaded. I've been loaded, reloaded, and I'm gonna load again. Like you understand? By the time before I go to sleep tonight, I am winning the NBA champion. No, I'm lying. That's a lot of 2K. That's a lot of 2K. I'm not even in the conference finals game right now. Wait, I should be. First round, one loss. Second round, sweep. Have I finished sweeping the second round yet? I did. I think I did. Now I'm in the championship round. Who the fuck am I playing the championship round? Milwaukee? No, it's Philly. I'm playing Philly. Nah, I'm in the second round still. I need to sweep Philly. I'm tripping. Oh man, let's get back to it. Ooh. My paintbrushes were told to dry out tonight. That's funny. All right, let's go ahead and continue with part 2 on Instagram. Let's see what we can get out for the next 24% of my battery. Oh, you know what I need to do? Plug in a different power source. I always forget about that source. I was trying something else different out, but I know how to get around that for the next time around. 34%. Yeah, it's not even so. There's no more Kirk Cousins and making fun of him or even getting into what's going on here. Where my Bluetooth promo code at? There we go. Get the people Bluetooth. Yo, free Bluetooth. Use that promo code. You get Bluetooth for free, my dude. Blue free. Next up, we have the 5-2 Seattle Seahawks going up against the Baltimore Ravens. Forgot something I was doing. And I've said this before. I think I'm going to continue down this path until it proves otherwise. But right now, I look at Lamar Jackson like he's Peyton Manning. He gets regular season wins and results. He wins regular seasons at a high rate. It's this playoff tournament that he keeps struggling in. Right? So until proven otherwise, I ain't going with Lamar Jackson to win the majority of his games. Not to mention they did this. If I'm not mistaken, did they add Julio Jones or did Philly add Julio Jones to their team? Shit, it may be Philly. I may be mistaken them with Philly. It could definitely be Philly who added them to the team. Damn. But I'm gonna go with both. No, I'm not. I won't be surprised. Like last week we had a bunch of surprises, right? I won't be surprised if Seattle beats Baltimore. I just sat here and I told you that I consider Pete Carroll one of my top 5 coaches in the league. Is it Petey? I gotta get my top 5 coaches down. But I got Pete. I got Shan. I got Reed. I got Mike Tomlin. That's 5 right there. That's 4 right there. And I'm trying to think who's my 5th. Because it's somewhere between Bill Belichick and Sean Payton. And neither one of them are looking impressive this right now to me. What? Jalen Brunson pops off. Jalen Brunson posts a season-high 45 points, but the Knicks ultimately fall short in the tournament opener. Okay. That's what they mean he paused. I thought he had some shit to say. I'm like, yo, me talking. No, I wanted it because he don't ever pop off. So if he was saying some shit, I thought he was about to be offended by some shit because he never talks reckless. He never complains. Just kind of puts his head down and goes to work. So I would have been real surprised if there was something that had irked him to the point to pop some shit off. So yeah, like I said, Seattle beating them won't be a surprise. Let me see what these odds are looking like. Check out some of these odds. So we have Miami and Kansas. Let's see, we got +2 over here. Over under, what is it, 50? That sounds about right. Arizona and Cleveland. They got Cleveland blowing them out. I do too, though. That's the next pick. I got Cleveland winning. I don't even want to look at it. I specifically want to look at Baltimore and they have Baltimore by 6. They're giving them 6 points. Over under is 44. So I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised there. We got LA versus. Let me take that off. I don't want to see what the odds are yet. We got LA versus Green Bay. Love has kind of been struggling this year. He started off looking okay, and okay has just been kind of okay. I'm going with the other team. Who was it? Rams? LA Rams? Yeah, I'm going with the Rams over Green Bay. So I think it's the first away game I've picked. Tampa Bay and Houston have the same record of 3-4. I'm gonna chalk this one up to the quarterback effect. What's his name? From Cleveland, all those commercials, right? The flag bearer. I'm a pay him. Not pay. Damn it. What's his name? God damn it, little short motherfucker. But I'm gonna give him credit for this. I can see his Baker Mayfield. That's right, the pastry chef Baker Mayfield. All right. Whatever you want to call him, because man, he be dishing he was dishing out interceptions for a while, right? But now he's just dropping dimes, right? He's still a pastry chef. You still want to call him a pastry chef? He's Twinkie filled sometimes. He can really be Twinkie filled, but he knows how to motivate his crew sometimes, and I think he's gonna be able to motivate this team over to a win over Houston. I don't really have a lot of faith in Houston still yet, even though they share a similar record. Houston is still in this rebuild mode. I mean, so is Tampa, but Tampa is bridging it right now. Houston is going young and dumb and full of spunk. So we're gonna see how that spunk lasts. Next up, we have New England versus Washington. This is one of those games I feel it's a trap game. This is one of those games that Washington's defense really has to come through, because so will New England's defense. This is one of those where I always give Bill Belichick the credit for when he has to go up against young or neophyte quarterbacks. Right? He makes them look stupid. He makes them look young. He makes them look dumb. He makes them look like their head is full of air. Earheads. I didn't eat dinner yet. So I worry about games like this, but he's in my division. This feels hardish. I'm not gonna lie, this feels like a heart pick. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, why is all my division rivalry picks heart picks? I guess I'm picking the Jets over the Chargers. Just to let you know, that's not even a heart pick. But I'll tell you why later. And I think you guys already know why. And it has nothing to do with the quarterback, except for the fact that the quarterback finds ways to make big plays at the end of games to put the team in position to win games. And is that not all you want your quarterback to do? Because really, all game, it really doesn't matter what they do all game, right? What it really matters is that in crunch time, can you put your team in position to win the game? And Zach Wilson, over the last 2 years, has done that 11 times. That's 11 out of 18 games he's done that. And I think I don't even think it's 18 games yet. So, I'm just saying, I'm not playing. I'm taking Indy over Carolina. It's not hard to beg. Carolina is going through some ish. This one is disrespectful. All right, sorry, I missed the game. I missed Chicago and New Orleans. I'm going New Orleans over Chicago. Chicago's going through some shit. Some of these teams are just going through too much turmoil. Some of these teams, it's not even so much that they're a bad team as well, because they're bad teams with some kind of talent. It's just that everything else is bad around them. Right? Like the organization don't seem buttoned up. They don't know. They're not using the proper offensive scheme to take advantage of their quarterback's abilities. Right? It's almost like it's almost basically like they're trying to teach a fish to fly, and you're judging it on flying. When the year before you saw them swim, they're like, nah, I wonder if this motherfucker could fly. I wonder why he's just flopping up. Right? You wonder. Look at trying to take a peek at the score, 49-60. Still surprised that the Dallas Mavericks have an undefeated record so far this season. And honestly, this is an early game. You see Kyrie cooking. He goes up and they called a foul on Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is acting like he didn't foul him, and I believe him. His teammate is the Joker. Can I not crack jokes? Like when you have a teammate like the Joker, you have to like. And see, this is what makes me believe that could just be trolling us, right? Because his nickname, he has that humor. I got Philly over Dallas. I got Cincinnati over Buffalo. I think Joe Burrow's healthy now, and a healthy Joe Burrow, I think, has the number of Buffalo. I think he's healthy, and if he's back, because he struggled early on. That's usually how they got those 3 losses. It was 3 bad losses, but they reeled off. I'm gonna say they reeled off 3 straight wins now. I'm gonna see them continue to build this momentum, and as Joe Burrow said, like, listen, we did this before, we'll do it again. Like we started off rough before, and we'll come back and we win the necessary games to do it again. And it seems like they're finally getting to that point where they can do that. He's starting to look mobile again. He's starting to look like he can still move around, and that's the thing that also mind you too. Cause look how Joe Burrow did it, right? I know you keep saying that Aaron Rodgers is 38, but if he wasn't 38, like he can do it too, can't he? Especially if you don't gotta worry about it ruining part of your career as you get older. He's at the end of his career. You don't gotta worry about year 18. He is in year 18, man. Push it to the limit. The game that baffles me: New York Giants versus Las Vegas. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I probably would have picked the New York Giants to win this game if I didn't happen to hear that Vegas has them as underdogs in this. They have Vegas winning this game. They have Vegas as the favorite. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, you fired your head coach, your general manager, and your quarterback, and you have them as the favorites over the Giants? How bad do you think the Giants are? Let's look at these odds. Because no. Okay. It's a 2-point favorite, right? We're giving them 2. But the fact that they have the Raiders favorite at all, while nothing around them has gone right, I'm going Giants. Like, I'm sorry. I think Daniel Jones is coming back. Daniel Jones is actually going to have Saquon Barkley. He's going to have the weapons that he needs to look successful. All of the things that made Tyrod Taylor look successful, Daniel Jones is going to have those pieces available to him. Basically, the pieces that had him looking successful a little bit earlier in the season. He's only won 2 games. I'm going to pick them to win because they kind of have to. Like sometimes I pick a game or I pick a team as a winner because I feel like they have to win this game. I don't like. There's no other way for me to pick against you because you have to win this. If you're the Giants, you kind of have to win this. The Las Vegas Raiders are are half dead right now. They're injured animal. They're wounded. If you can't beat them, I don't expect you to win another game for the remainder of the season. Like full fat. Like, listen, if the Giants can't beat the Raiders here, I don't think I can honestly pick them to win another game the remainder of this season. So they have to win this game. To me, I picked them to win because they have to win. As I said, I got Cincinnati over Buffalo because I think Joe Burrow is finally healthy. And he'll be able to do the things that Joe Burrow does. Smoking Joe Burrow is what we call him. And I believe he's going to smoke Buffalo in Cincinnati. And then for the Monday night game, we have the LA Chargers taking on the New York Jets, and I have the New York Jets winning that game strictly because the New York Jets defense is elite, and the New York Jets defense is doing for them this year what the '86 Bears defense did for Chicago, what the 2000 Ravens defense did. Ravens defense did for Baltimore. What you understand like what the Legion of Boom did for the Seahawks. Right, like he's like this defense for the Jets is having that kind of effect, and for as porous or as far as horrific as Zach Jones. Right, Zach Jones. Damn, I'm combining the two horrible New York quarterbacks. Zach Wilson. As horrific as Zach Wilson, right, or Kirk Cousins' younger cousin, right? I'm sorry. Daniel Jones is Kirk Cousins' younger cousin. Zach Wilson is Kirk Cousins' mother-loving cousin. If you guys understand what's happened there, right? But the things don't look pretty, and this is what got Tim Tebow out the league ultimately as well. Things don't look pretty for 3 quarters, for 3.5 quarters, because he's not an NFL quarterback quite yet. But at the end of the game, he manages to put his team in position to win games. And they're winning games here 9-7, 13-10. Ugly games where one touchdown is possibly scored by the offense or, by the opposing team. If that. One touchdown possibly gets scored by our offense. If that. It's defense and it's run. And it's not as braggadocious and we're not as loud as the Rex Ryan era, but they are just as effective. Without a Revis Island. Without a braggadocious look at me head coach. Look at me as a deterrent to my team head coach. Or look at me because this is just my personality head coach. I'm a big personality. Now, what I wanted to check out, right? Those are all of our picks, folks. Kansas City, Atlanta, Baltimore, Cleveland, LA Rams, Tampa Bay, Washington, New Orleans, Indy, New York Giants, Philly, Cincinnati, New York Jets. Now, the thing I wanted to check into as we pull out our secret documents here is that now that we're about 9 weeks into the season, I wanted to check out and see how are my seasons, like my division leaders are looking. And if it still manages to hold them, I'm telling you guys, you should have bet this. I be giving you guys gold sometimes. Now let's take a look at this, right? As I had this in the form of news, right? North, east, west, and south. Even though I wrote this down snooey. South, north, west, and east. So let's go ahead and check this first out. And I got Dallas as the first wild card. Buffalo, New York Jets, and Pittsburgh as the wild card in the AFC. I think that's still holding up. I think that's still holding up. Well, let's take a look, see, right? So a lot of it is holding up. So some of it isn't. I see the differences already. In the NFC South, I have what? Wait, what? Atlanta? Atlanta is leading that? Okay, that's the first one not holding up is Atlanta. I knew something was wrong. Damn. So I had Tampa Bay. Looks like Atlanta has now. Granted, 4 weeks ago, Tampa Bay was still holding on, but looks like Atlanta has taken over that division. Next up, we have the NFC North, where I had Detroit, and Detroit still is maintaining their stronghold on that division as well. For the NFC West, I had San Francisco, and NFC West, it is Seattle. That's funny. I had Seattle as one of the wild cards. So if I got all my playoff people right. So I still needed to pick one more wild card for the NFC, and I don't think I ever got it around to making that decision. And even as I'm looking at it, like it's still hard to make that decision. Vikings 4-4, Saints, Falcons 4-4, but Falcons will win their division. Well, one of them will win their division. 49ers, well, I guess. Well, I had them somewhere else. So I got those two making it. Got that and the right person making it. Got that and the right person. So it's going to be somewhere between the Vikings and the Saints, maybe. Rams, maybe. That's why I never got a chance because I thought they had. I forgot there was that extra spot. Then that's what maybe end up putting Pittsburgh in there loosely. So let's continue. So you got to listen to the podcast about 4 weeks ago. Where do we leave off at? So we had Tampa Bay, we had Detroit, we had San Francisco, and Philly. And so far, those division leaders are for the South. It's Atlanta. So that has changed, and that's changed since 4 weeks ago. Because 4 weeks ago, I was spot on. I was fully spot on. I was like, "There's no way this is." I was like, "There's no way this is holding up. There is no way whatsoever this is holding up. If this holds up all the way through, then I am Negro Dominus, and I should start betting every goddamn day of my life." But still, I knew there was going to be a roller coaster of them going up and down. So even as you look at it, for the NFC South, right? It's not Tampa Bay can still come on top of it, but they still now they have to climb over New Orleans and Atlanta, and that's gonna be the difficult part. Like, can Baker Mayfield get himself back over them? Minnesota's probably not going to end up making it. And then when we talk about Seattle over San Francisco, we will look at like for how long. Like San Francisco just got overlapped because they're on a 3-game losing streak, and Seattle happens to be on a 2-game winning streak. How long do we expect that to happen? It really sucks that Kirk Cousins went down because he was on a 3-game winning streak. Shit, it's crazy. Minnesota Vikings on a 3-game winning streak. Then in the AFC, I have Jacksonville in the South, that's still holding up. Baltimore in the North, that's still holding up. Kansas City in the West, that's still holding up. And I have Miami in the East. That hurts me so bad. And that's still holding up. And as my wild cards, I have Buffalo, Jets, and Pittsburgh. And that is still holding up. Let's take a look-see here. Bills and the Jets, okay. That's 2 spots. 5-3, 4-3. West, nobody qualifies. Pittsburgh is 5-3. They're gonna qualify. And that's about it. That's about spot on so far. Again, I expect that to change. Like I expected the AFC, like I expect the NFC to change. The fact that this is still held up through 9, the fact that this is held up through 9 weeks, still baffles the shit out of me. It really does. But somehow this has managed to hold up, and we'll come back and we'll be checking. We will be checking again. Week 13-ish. And we're gonna check again and see who these division leaders are and see how I'm holding up. I hope I could remember that this week. Let me make sure I circle this. All right. Division leader. That way, when I come back looking for it, I'll be able to find that sucker. I'm gonna be scrolling through it. Right? When week 13 comes around, I'm gonna be scrolling through it. to see where it's at. Right now is up at halftime, 70-55 over Dallas. We're gonna leave here. We're gonna go into the Portland game, and let's take a look at what Portland and Memphis is looking like. Excuse me. How much time we got left? We go finish up. We go talk. We got about 10 minutes left in the podcast. That's actually perfect, right? We can sit here and we'll talk about. Can you cut the beat? Thank you. And we'll talk about what's going on with these in season tournament games. A lot of these games are over now, right? So I'm gonna pull this up and I'm gonna see if I can get you the scores on these, right, to give you an update. But and we'll also give you a rundown of everybody that played today as well. We'll tell you who the winner highs were, who the losing high was, and how these games played out in just a moment. After, I know you guys are like, damn, those were able to get away with this. Although you said you only had 10 minutes. I can't believe you're gonna do this just with 10 minutes left to go on the podcast. Listen, you're gonna love me for it later after these messages.
They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous. They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world, and they can respond, "I'm a soldier."
Oh, damn.
They didn't join this team to win championships.
We're back. Thank you for listening. Tell Tourny Taylor, MyT Sports Podcast. We here. Got myself a plate of food. I was fucking hungry as shit. Got myself one last beer. One last beer. And it got me feeling so sweet. I cannot beat my meat. It's no November-y. Okay. I'm just gonna start soaking up this beer. So, the NBA has their. Let me get you guys off of here. My bad. The NBA has their in-season tournament going on right now, and if you're trying to follow everything MyT Sports Podcast, there goes the link that you can follow everything too. Actually, let me do something else for you guys. Right? If I have any veterans or first responders out there, all right. There goes a little link for you guys to be able to get free tickets in your neighborhood or around your way. Just go ahead and click that little QR code, and that will get you to, if you haven't signed up for this already, vettix.org, and you'll be able to get access to a lot of events in your local area for the low ski, for the super low ski. Generally, the only thing you generally end up having to pay for is like it's a small service fee, regardless if you want one ticket or 4 tickets, but whatever, it's there, and it's there for all you soldiers and all you first responders. Use my QR code. Sign up for the. You can sign up for the program. It's free to all soldiers. And you guys will be Gucci. All right. Now you have to have served. So it's very specific to people that were soldiers and first responders. All you civilians, I'm sorry. This ain't for you. Ooh, that's good. So the NBA has a little in-season tournament going on. You again, while it's confusing, right? It is kind of confusing about what's going on here. It really doesn't affect like how you watch the game, right? It's the same exact games that were on in the regular season. They just have a different meaning for a tournament that they're having during this as the season progresses. That the winners are going to be paid $500,000 to each if they win, right? Players and coaches, $250 for the runner-up, and I think $50 for third, right? So I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, That's pretty dope. But as I'm looking through everything, one of the things I'm noticing is all of the different courts. And I think I mentioned this earlier. Right now I'm watching a Portland game. And theirs is a red court with that beige. Or did they try to make that cream? It could be cream. With a cream strip going through the middle. Again, each lane, right, or each paint, right, is it looks like a trophy. Looks like the NBA trophy. And in the center, again, is a trophy. In the back is the team logo, and in the background is a trophy as well. Completely different color courts, completely different color uniforms as well. And it's pretty dope. Not gonna lie, it's pretty dope. And the way the games are today, right, is that we have. Let's go ahead and make sure we have all of them up here. Right, we had Cleveland taking on Indy. Right, in Cleveland was 2-3, Indianapolis was 2-2, and they're taking on each other in the Group A play. Uh, Indy ended up beating Cleveland. Oh shit! I wouldn't have thought that. Cleveland's really been real inconsistent lately. They really have. See, and it makes me wonder if a part of their inconsistency has to do with the fact that they can't truly fully rally behind themselves, knowing that the guy that probably has the highest usage and going to put up the most points for your team doesn't want to be there. So while he's out here getting buckets, and how much did he put up on this in this loss? He's over here putting up 38 points in a loss. Nobody else is really giving any unnecessary effort, or they're not really like one body, one mind. It's five individuals out there just playing. And that may be Cleveland's fault. And it could be because it may be Donovan Mitchell's fault, because Donovan Mitchell on several occasions has refused to sign a contract extension offer from this team. To New York right now, make your move to go out and get him or Joel Embiid. Before those contracts that Philly has becomes tradable. You have to strike before those assets become tradable, because once they do, you don't have leverage enough to get the pieces that you want. Either offer enough to make Philly want to reconsider going through the process all over again, or go out and get Donovan Mitchell. Sorry, but it can't be called Anthony Towns. Unless it costs me nothing to get Carl Anthony Towns, I don't want to call Anthony Towns. You had New York play Milwaukee. New York ended up losing to Milwaukee in this game 110 to 105. Jalen Brunson, I don't know if you heard earlier, he led all scorers with 45. Damian Lillard will lead his team to a victory with 30, just the same way Miles Turner led his team to a victory with 27 points. Also would be Brooklyn taking on Chicago, and Brooklyn would end up beating Chicago to improve their record to 3-2, as Chicago falls to 2-4. Leading all scorers in that game was Zach LaVine. It's funny how the losing team, so every in all three games that we've mentioned so far, the losing team has provided the leading scorer, as Dorian Finney-Smith would lead the Brooklyn Nets with 21 to a victory. Also on top of that, you had. Did I miss something? I did. You had the Miami Heat. Yep. Beating the Washington Wizards. This finally broke the mold, as Tyler Hero will lead all scorers to 24 points and lead his team to a victory. We also have Golden State Warriors, as we mentioned on the air. They end up beating, 1 minute left, Oklahoma City Thunder 141 to 139. Curry would drop 30, leading all scorers as well. That is basically everything so far in the tournament. And it has been one hell of a ton. It makes me really wonder about this NBA script. Like, what are they trying to do here? Cleveland and Indy is in Group A. We got New York and Milwaukee in Group B. Golden State, Oklahoma in Group C. I said, these are the part that really doesn't matter. It's going to get confusing. Brooklyn and Chicago in Group C. Washington and Miami in Group B. Memphis, Portland in A. And Dallas and Denver in Group B. All I know is there's a whole bunch of wins and losses. We got a whole bunch of new courts and a whole bunch of uniforms, and we'll have a new show for you guys coming up on Monday. I want to thank you guys for listening to the podcast. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Do not forget to stay MyT. Can you play my outro so I can stop?
Sorry, B. I tried. Honest. All the bandwidth in the world couldn't keep me contained. No lag, no lag. Last of the real gabbers.
Let's see what I mean.
Munchkin got good mic skills. New, improved MyT caster. Potted down now. Last call for drinks. Bars closing. Sun's out. Heard the casino got a buffet breakfast. Don't want to go far. Wild night. Tired, be tired. MyT
Sports.